You're listening to the We Are Libertarians Network. Learn more at wearelibertarians.com.
Okay, so Guffey's pressed the button, and this is episode number 118 of Boss Hog of Liberty podcast. I'm Jeremiah Morrill. Today we are joined by co-host Dakota Davis. Mark Brim is the featured guest because he's on summer sabbatical and he has nothing better to do. And producer Chris Guffey's in the fourth chair because intern Mason didn't get rained out today and he has to go play baseball.
Mm-hmm. Today's episode features Mark Brim from the lovely Wayne County, Indiana. We're going to be talking to Mark, basically just the standard of every single Mark Brim episode. It's your guys' favorites. You know who he is. But we're going to be talking about the 2020 Democratic presidential debates, some local politics, some local stories, some personal issues from people around the area in East Central Indiana. And then we got a little surprise for you all at the end for some other stories. So make sure you stick around and listen to that.
This show is about our lives in rural Indiana. We're here to push your boundaries and make you think as individuals. Sometimes we will provoke you. Other times we'll just make you laugh. Hopefully you'll always learn something new. I'm still trying to share the podcast.
Your mush mouth has made me laugh.
Normally Dakota stretches that further, and I've got more time, and he's thrown me off.
I did. I threw you a big loop.
Apparently you don't have enough to say to our valued guests.
Well, I have something else to say. If you're watching the live stream right now on Facebook, or if you are going to watch the video later, then you can see in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, there is the logo of Farmer Brad LLC. Farmer Brad is a friend of the show. He's a longtime listener of the Boss Hog of Liberty. He was brought on as a fan by our guest tonight, Mark Brim. He is a chicken farmer and a just all-around poultry expert, I think. I think he knows everything there is to know about chickens.
He's like a poultry equipment manufacturer.
Yeah.
Worldwide sensation. He knows his way around a chicken.
That's right, he does. He has very graciously decided to sponsor the next couple of episodes, and he is doing a really cool thing where if you go onto his website, farmerbrad.com, right?
It's a real thing. This is not a bit. This dovetails so well into Boss Hog of Liberty. It's not even.
If you go to
the comments,
farmerbrad.com /Boss Hog. He had commented. I was wondering what he was saying. But if you look at farmerbrad.com /Boss Hog and go there and buy one of his products, he has an automatic chicken waterer, which is 2 gallons. It's BPA free. You go on there, you buy one of those.
It holds 2 gallons?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And
2 gallons. That's twice what a gallon of milk is.
That's right. And if you have chickens and you need a waterer for them, then Farmer Brad LLC is the place to go because he is giving you $3 off if you use our link to go and purchase your water, as well as giving us a little bit of a kickback in return. So you're helping support Farmer Brad, and we are going to get into his story later on in the show, and you are also helping support the Boss Hog of Liberty.
Anywhere in the United States, you can have this thing shipped. You guys, Boss Hog Liberty folks, $57, and you get a 2-gallon automatic chicken waterer. It fills automatically, so you don't have to sit out there and refill the thing all the time. Your water's always clean. It connects to your garden hose. And then in the wintertime, you can go down to your local Rural King Tractor Supply or maybe the Amazon.com if you don't have one of those close by. And you could buy a de-icer, 150-watt de-icer, plug it in, and your chickens are watered all through the winter.
Yep, that's right. You don't even have to worry about it. And you know what?
Now
that's what I was going to say. If you live in Newcastle and you can't have chickens because we have an oppressive government here and they're totally authoritarian. We live in tyranny if you live in Newcastle.
For now.
An absolute tyranny until Chris Guffey is elected to city council. So I'm not going to tell you to break the law. However, I will tell you to just stick it to Aaron Dickin and get chickens, and that way you can buy a Farmer Brad waterer.
maybe you can just buy your Farmer Brad waterer now as a symbol of the freedom that might be coming if we make some changes.
Put it on your front porch.
That's right. If enough people in Newcastle buy Farmer Brad's waterers, then we can all take them and protest to the courthouse and protest the oppressive regime of Mayor York and the current city council.
It's the beacon
not letting
of
us have
freedom,
chickens.
the Farmer Brad 2-gallon chicken waterer.
And you can look up the reviews on YouTube. I mean, this thing
it's a legitimate
item.
It's real.
It's been out
It's
across
nice.
the country.
And if you happen to have chickens that are in your neighborhood, like this is Miami, and they're just free range chickens. Once again, they ship anywhere in the country. If you want to, if you're the folks that take care of the cats that are wandering free, you could put a Farmer Brad chicken waterer in your front yard and take care of the neighborhood chickens.
Take note around here. He also does chicken rental packages.
So you can rent a chicken.
That's right. You can rent a chicken.
You can rent chickens from him.
Chicken.
Yeah.
And then at
For
the
what
end,
purpose?
For what?
So that,
if you don't want the commitment, if you're thinking you want to get into it,
it's just a
rent
trial.
lease / option to buy, and he brings to your house
chickens.
Chickens and a chicken coop and all that stuff.
I'm going to have to check out this website.
Chicken.
So
rental.
our friend Kay Kronk is wanting to know if that individual may buy chicken water and have it delivered to the courthouse lawn. And I think, yes, you definitely could.
Absolutely.
If you have it shipped to the studio here, we would take care of delivering it to the
I
courthouse
hope Farmer
lawn.
Brad is happy because this is the longest advertisement read of any podcast
And
ever.
then if by chance, and this is not fake, this is a real product, guys. This isn't a bit we came up with. Farmer Brad is very real, and Mark Brim brought him to us.
I dropped him off on your porch.
Yeah, he brought us chickens.
This is the hook, is that if you're in the local market,
and you know what,
you can buy Farmer Brad frozen
you know what?
chicken.
We just got it out there that Farmer Brad gave us chickens in Newcastle, Indiana, and you know what I have to say? Come and get them. Come and take them out of my cold, dead hands. Bring it on, Aaron Dickin.
So we are very excited to have this new relationship with Farmer Brad. And he'll ship anywhere except for the People's Republic of Spiceland, Indiana. If that happen, if you have to go there, you're going to have some covert operations. But
They can
once
put it in
again,
a secret box.
I think that if it's a wild chicken, they can't take it away from you. So if the chicken is free to go and can move around anywhere it wants to, then maybe there's some gray areas there.
This isn't my chicken. It just happens to live inside my fenced-in yard.
This chicken it chooses to be here. I asked her; she could go anytime she wants. I don't want this chicken here. Please take it away. This chicken is a nuisance.
I wonder if this will work with watering dogs as well.
This chicken identifies.
Farmer Brad, can we use this to water dogs as well?
This chicken
Can dogs
identifies.
suckle from the metal nipple at the end?
Maybe.
This chicken
would like to see
identifies
that.
as a
You can train a
parakeet.
dog to do anything. I have a German Shepherd. She's smart.
All right, we do
There you
need to
go.
thank the other monthly contributors of the show, the big time folks: Chris Bilbrey, Christy Avery, Craig DaCosta, and John Phillips, all at over $50 a month. And Craig DaCosta is still in the mainland. We thank these guys very much. Been following Craig around. He's been up in Montreal, Canada,
Boston.
about an hour away from my homeland of Messina, New York. And now I think he's at Fenway tonight, taking in
nice.
a Red Sox game. It's very complicated. There's the White Sox and the Red Sox, and then there's the Reds and the Red Sox. Mark, I don't know if you follow this professional sports thing, but there are teams that play in cities,
And they play each city
and they
has a
play
team?
each other. Yes, yes. So
what's
the people
Newcastle team?
The Newcastle team is the Trojans.
The Trojans.
And sometimes they will play the Greenfieldians.
Wow.
Yes.
There you go.
Yeah. It's very
The
exciting.
Greenfieldians.
Some towns have multiple teams.
Wow. When they come out in the field, do they bust through like a big rubber thing?
Yeah, they come out with chickens, but unfortunately they don't have Farmer Brad's waterer, so they look poorly dehydrated.
Yes, dehydrated chickens.
So now I am wearing tonight, if you're watching on the beautiful, glorious HD camera, I'm wearing a t-shirt that is a throwback to Boss Hog lore from the Christmas episode. If you are a Patreon member, you'll know what it's all about. I'm wearing my Little Sebastian t-shirt that was gifted to me by the wonderful Dakota Davis.
Bye, bye, little Sebastian.
There are other t-shirts available for sale in the store.
That's right. We have a T-Chip store. We have 3 T-Chip stores. We have
Three?
Yeah, 3 different merchandise stores because there's 3 different logos. Jeremiah has a favorite logo on there that has all of the host names listed in no specific order. I really don't think.
As long as Jared's first.
Yeah. And we also have one T-shirt that has our logo, and on the back it has the slogan that says local stories, national impact. And then we have just plain old T-shirts, the cheapo T-shirts at tchip.com/BHOL1. and we have BHOL1, BHOL2, BHOL3. That's where you can get all of your T-Chip merchandise, and they're really good. They are crafted out of all of the deer skin that were from the deer that were harvested by co-host Cade Coger last fall. He's handcrafting them out of the leather made from the deer skin and the fur, so they're extremely soft.
He's absolutely
and durable.
amazing. He's so manly.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen pictures.
And I heard that he's getting kind of close to running out of the deer skin, so he's going to have to move to the intestines. So make sure you get in there quick.
Have you followed his fansonly.com? It's only $6 a month to get the real behind the scenes Cade Coger pictures.
I would legitimately probably do that.
Or onlyfans.com. There's some.
Does he still have that
so
thing
good.
on his neck? That thing that
Surprisingly, that's
it's a
kind of
tattoo.
permanent.
It's tattoo. Semi-permanent.
So it's going to be there for a while.
Yeah.
It's
Wow.
pretty
Speaking
permanent.
Speaking about Cade Coger, co-host Cade, he was on the Thunderwolf podcast, which is on the Magic Squirrel Network. It's the newest podcast on that network. You heard us on Juice in the Morning, which is also on that network. So if you were a fan of those guys, make sure you pop on over and listen to Cade talk about farming. Bob Lazar talking about aliens in Area 51 and some other conspiracies. It's a good show, and he did give us a shout out, so we need to shout those
and
guys
at some
out
point
too.
we'll reconnect with.
That's right. We'll hook up with them
with those guys over there, and there's a lot of common blood, a lot of great podcasts in East Central Indiana and Eastern Indiana. Of course, we are East Central Indiana's favorite podcast, but there are a lot of others that are nearly as good.
It is true. I will say this. So I am the post office guy. Like I go to the post office for my work because it's right next door, pretty much. And I found out the new guy that got hired on there runs his own podcast.
Really?
So, yeah, it's all about wrestling entertainment and stuff like that.
Ooh, that might be one for fan Brantley Spicer.
Yeah, Brantley Spicer. Check out In Your House. He actually
house.
He streams the video.
Of the street.
It's mostly a podcast, but then he also has like a video once a week that he does out of one of the local gaming shops in Anderson.
Nice.
So
the Highly Inappropriate podcast is produced as well in the area, in the region, in our area down in Carthage, Indiana. I believe that's Matt Wharton and his team down there.
They're in Carthage?
Yeah, they're in Carthage. And they have a studio in Carthage.
They're almost in our county.
They're very close. Very close.
only one podcast is allowed in Henry County. We'll fight them.
One at a time.
We'll fight them.
We'll kick you out.
I think there actually may be a funeral podcast.
Mama said
in Henry
knock
County.
you out.
I'm just saying.
Funeral podcast?
I think so.
Really?
Yeah. There's all kinds of stuff, man.
Funeral.
Yeah, the Undertaker podcast, I think, is based here as well.
Are you sure it's a funeral
I
and it's
think-
not like a wrestling?
No, I'm like 94% sure.
How disappointing for the guy that's a huge Undertaker fan.
Insert the embalming fluid.
A podcast all about the wrestler, The Undertaker.
Yes. So, Mark, one of the reasons we had to invite you over is you've been a bit of a traveler.
You've been just like Kim Kardashian and consulting with President Trump.
I
Did you
have
get any inmates released from prison like she did?
You went to
Actually,
the White
it wasn't her. It was
the
Kanye
White
West.
House.
Got that wrong.
Was it?
Did you
It was
did you
Kanye West.
It was Kim Kardashian.
did you
No.
get
It was Kim K, man.
Did you
She
get-
gave a press conference on it and everything.
did you
man.
get past the security? Guffey, I swear to God, if you don't act straight, we're going to send you back to the producer's chair and not let you talk on the show.
Who's Conway West anyway?
He's Kim K's husband.
Conway West. I've never heard of him.
Yeezy?
No.
He has something to do with basketball. Nobody really knows.
Everybody hated him.
That was Cherry West. Washington, D.C.
Washington D.C.
As a boy who thinks Greensburg is big, what did you do in Washington?
I tell you what I learned in Washington D.C. I was stopped several times by security at the White House, at the National Museum of Gallery or something.
Did you go see the flag?
What do with the flag?
The Francis Scott Key flag,
No.
the original American flag that flew at Baltimore.
You see, I don't like America
You didn't
that much. So.
You didn't see it? Why didn't
I
we
didn't get
even
a chance-
invite you on?
I didn't see much. I was there for work, but I saw a little bit, a taste of it.
Did you happen to see any lizard people?
Yes, I believe I did.
You saw some lizard people.
I did
Like
see some
Hillary
lizard-
Clinton?
Yeah. What are lizard people?
Yeah, you
I'm
know,
amazingly out
the
of touch.
shapeshifters that secretly
Shapeshifters?
run our government.
Really?
You know, like On the flat Earth.
I saw buildings. I saw a lot of buildings. But I got in trouble multiple times. I didn't realize this. So you have a camera in Washington, D.C. I got in trouble on the subway, the metro, I think. I got in trouble multiple times.
You navigated the metro with no adult supervision. You were a grown-ass man trying to figure out the elevators alone in Washington, D.C., or the escalators that take you down to the metro.
Take you down in there.
Are the longest escalators on the face of this earth. You had to be lost. There's no way you did this well.
It was me and two coworkers. And
somebody had been out of the Wayne County before. And,
I had
a clue.
A coworker who had been there before. Anyways, he knows everything. He knows how to. I was like, if we were the A-team, I was Murdoch. I drove. He told me where to go, but I did that kind of thing. But he was like the brains of making.
Did your rental car have an automatic transmission and you cursed it?
It had it was a shame. It was a minivan. You tried driving a minivan around DC. That was hard. But the thing that I got in trouble, the cameras, they're totally cool with cameras. You can record anything. They don't care. But tripods.
Tripods are of the devil.
They don't. I got in trouble so many times. They said, hey, you can't have that tripod. And I said, well, I can't film here. No. You just can't have a tripod. So shoot all you want. It just can't be steady. Just no steady shots. They don't like tripods. Anywhere I went, no tripods.
There must be the big gyroscope money that's been paying off DC.
I have
the Steadicam money that's doing this.
I researched this finally. About the fourth time I got in trouble for a tripod. I thought, what is this?
I mean, you had to find Wi-Fi somewhere to research this.
People shoot video in DC, don't they? How do they hold their cameras still? The tripod rule is because of all the historical monuments and stuff and the marble floors. They have no way of telling what tripod could scuff up the floor, so they're looking out for the floor wax. Basically, that's the only reason they won't let you have tripods.
Big floor wax.
Don't take a tripod to DC. You just hold that camera really still. That's my big takeaway.
What about if you have a disability? What if you have the Parkinson's? What do those guys do?
Well, do they shoot a lot of video?
I mean, what if they do, but they use a tripod to overcome it? Do they make accommodations?
I mean, do they shoot? I'm assuming people with Parkinson's shoot video too. Yeah, what do they do?
The ADA law should protect these people.
I guess that's where the Steadicam comes in here.
But of course, the federal government is exempted from everything on every ADA rule.
Yeah, there was no other way but climbing the steps to get to the Lincoln thing.
So you went to Lincoln. You went to the Lincoln Memorial.
I was looking for an escalator.
I've been there 3 years. There is an escalator.
There's an escalator.
There is an escalator, and there's a
shows
museum.
what I get for being a smartass.
There's a museum down below. I didn't know that until this last March. Yeah.
Is Lincoln in there? Is he inside that statue?
He's remember the funeral podcast? He's embalmed, and he's down there in the corner.
And he's in there.
Yeah. So if you went to the top of the stairs in the Lincoln Memorial, and you went to the left,
there's an escalator.
So you went to the left, and you're in that little room where they have like things written on the wall. The very front of the building there. If you had walked to the left, there's an escalator there, and it goes down.
I'll be damned.
Into a basement, and there's all kinds of pictures of stuff that's happened on the Lincoln Memorial wall, like of events that have happened and protests.
I wish
and all
I knew
these
about
things.
this.
I didn't know until just now. Until just this year, like 2 months ago, I discovered this.
Wow,
I didn't know.
So
I've been to Washington D.C. a few times.
There is an escalator.
I did take my tripod.
Is this a real escalator or is it
an elevator? An elevator, not
an elevator.
No, it's
or
not
is
an
it like a Nick Cage searching for the Declaration of Independence?
Well, so it was the unadvertised elevator, and I was like, "Oh my God, I'm going to push this button and find the Declaration of Independence."
Is it like the American Dad episode where they have to go into the Lincoln Memorial to find the secret formula for peanut butter? Did you see the formula for peanut butter there?
I feel like this isn't
by George Washington Carver?
No. So did you?
I don't think it was a real chamber. Then
you visited the Lincoln Memorial.
I went to the National Mall and did not even see a Pier 1 Imports.
Really?
Yeah.
What kind of a mall is that?
Store? Yeah. No Apple Store. Nothing.
Did you do the
no Fashion Bug?
The Vietnam or the Where's the goodies?
Yeah.
Everybody in this town is waiting patiently for the Gordmans to replace the goodies.
It opened up already.
You still have a goodies in this town?
No, it's gone.
The grand opening is today, but no one's there because they counter-programmed us. So
yeah, just like
and
those
other
damn
things.
Democrats that have been on the that were on the TV last night and tonight. So, what else did you see on the mall? Anything else interesting? Did you go to the World War II Memorial and find Indiana? Did you go?
No.
Did you go to see Jefferson?
My time was just so limited. It was like boom, boom, boom. The few pictures I got were just very limited.
The last time that I was in Washington D.C., I went with.
Could you say it like you're from Wayne County and make them comfortable? the last time he was in Washington?
Last time I was in Washington.
There we go. Thank
DC.
you.
Glad to make you comfortable.
Yeah.
Anything for a guest. I was with our mutual friend, I believe, Sam Stone from Richmond, Indiana.
I know him.
Yeah, I know you know him because I've seen you comment back and forth on Facebook.
Yeah, but
many
you can't
times.
use Facebook to judge who. I have like 3,500 Facebook friends or something.
What?
Yeah,
How do you have that many friends?
I'm popular.
Wow.
Yeah.
He's run for office before. He's a real man.
Yeah.
Well, we almost got kicked out of Mount Vernon.
Why?
Because
Flash photography, tripods.
Nope, not for none of that.
Did you dig around Washington's tomb?
No, because we
Did you wear a
we
MAGA
hopped
hat?
the little barrier into the slave quarters, and
Did you
like,
look at the
laid in the
men's or
bed?
the women's side? You laid in the bed in the
What?
slave quarters.
Why did you do this?
It was kind of like a.
I
we
bet
were
you
just
won't.
curious. It
I
was
bet
like,
you won't.
Yeah. It wasn't even that. It was just like pure curiosity.
Just till you wanted to.
It was like, look at that. That looks horrible. It looks like a horrible bed.
Chris Guffey,
Sam's like, let's see what it feels like.
you're an American hero.
Okay.
You've been to D.C.
I've
And
never
so what
been.
if-
You've never.
Oh
been.
wait, this might not have been Sam. This whole story may have been false. It was with it was with Aaron Benson, another friend I had in high school. Yep.
You're not very trustworthy anymore, Dakota. We can't believe a damn thing you
I
said.
got it right that time. Sam is completely innocent in Mount Vernon, and he is totally welcome
Sam
back.
had
I'm sure.
Sam had nothing to do with that crime.
No.
All right. We're talking about Washington. We're talking about the federal government. Did anybody other than me turn on MSNBC last night and watch the debates?
I did.
I tried listening to audio only. Very confusing with how many people there were.
You couldn't tell the 20 voices apart?
Yeah, there's like
It was 20 voices, but then they had like 7 moderators, too.
Yeah,
There was 20 people on stage. At the same
There's
time.
10. There's 10 tonight, and there's 10 last night.
it was super confusing. Whenever I was trying to listen to it audio only this morning. So then I went to our friend Bash Kreider's barbecue place, got some tacos.
They had late night tacos?
Midday tacos. I
Yeah,
got them
lunch
at
Oh, this is
tacos.
today.
11.
Yeah.
Yes, and I
He sent some pictures, and they look really good.
yeah, I went there for lunch, and then I sat down in the good old air
I wonder if
conditioning and
Bash knows-
watched some of the debate.
I wonder if Bash knows he could get some beef down at the L&K Produce Farm that opens up tomorrow, or if he
Probably.
can get fresh chicken from Farmer Brad.
Now, you know what? He can rent his own chickens and raise them right there in that parking lot.
As long as he uses the right water.
That's
for
true.
all I care.
So there were 10 candidates on the stage last night. I watched it and I started live. It wasn't a tweet because I used the Facebook platform because that's where I feel like I have more
you're a
followers. And it was what I have. I thought the colors were pretty.
I did enjoy your colors. That's the only way I found out there was a debate. Was I saw your post.
So I was
Most people enjoyed him. Some people
I was,
hated him.
I was posting. I found a third cousin that I haven't heard from in years that was very angry at me this morning, and finally she came back and apologized and walked back her
I
criticism.
saw that.
a
I
little
saw
bit.
that criticism. I thought it was
Ooh.
hilarious.
I need to
thought
check
it was
this out.
funny.
Yeah, I didn't. see
Dakota,
this.
you could pull it up so that I don't get blamed for everything that happened.
Well, it was just she was upset because she was
obviously-
like, listen, Jeremiah, you're making fun of these people, and some of us are relying on this debate to find out who to vote for, and you're being a jerk and a snob because you know what?
'Cause
They're
your team's-
Democrats and you're a libertarian. It was basically one of those.
Well, my question is if you're just relying on 120 minutes with 10 people on the stage, minus your 20
Yeah.
minutes for commercials to pick your presidential candidate, you're
You're a loser.
loser.
Well, this isn't gonna help things out with his cousin.
No, I mean you should research who you're gonna. I will say though, I watched the debate. Thank you, Jeremiah, for the YouTube TV.
You're very welcome, my friend.
So I watched it, and I think I knew 3 of the candidates up there. And if you noticed, Beto, Cory Booker, and Elizabeth Warren really got the FaceTime. They always seem to go back to those 3,
Yeah.
I don't-
Well,
and it seemed like everybody else was fighting for attention.
there's 10 people up on that stage.
Uh,
Well, I know.
So the list
It's
of candidates on there was Julian Castro, who's he's He was the former mayor of San Antonio, and I think he was some sort of cabinet level position. At some point.
housing secretary,
probably under Obama. Elizabeth Warren was on there. She's the senator. Bill De Blasio. I'm not even sure he's ever been a Democrat. He's kind of like Bernie Sanders, but he's the mayor of New York City. Beto O'Rourke, who's a former congressman.
It's Robert O'Rourke.
Roberto, yes. He's a former congressman who
he goes by Beto so that he can try to get more Latino votes.
Beto.
That's the only reason he goes by it.
He lost in the most recent Senate race. Amy Klobuchar from Minnesota was on the stage. She's a senator. Tim Ryan, who I thought was interesting. He was
blinking, sputtering, licking his lips.
People said he didn't do that well, but he's a congressman from Youngstown, Ohio, and I think he was actually the one guy that spoke to the blue collar auto worker in the Great Lakes that can kind of compete with the Trump voters. John Delaney was on there, who I legitimately have never heard of before in my life, but he's a congressman from Maryland. Cory Booker was out there, the senator. He was a former mayor and he's been a senator. Tulsi Gabbard was on the stage, the congresswoman who we'll talk about. She's from Hawaii.
Tulsi's awesome.
And then Governor Jay Inslee was also on the stage.
Governor of what? I've never heard of this.
Washington. Governor of Washington.
Nothing.
Yeah, so those were the 10 last night. There's another there's another one coming up as we record this in about an hour. So sucks to be them. They won't get the Boss Hog.
They won't be able to watch us.
But we know that some of the front runners, Pete Buttigieg of Indiana is going to be there. Former Vice President Joe Biden will be there, and Bernie Sanders will be on
Dakota's
the stage.
boy.
Andrew Yang.
Hashtag
Yang Yang.
And the Yang Gang will be
Yang.
will be on the stage. So got a number more that are coming up coming off the season.
I'm so excited to see Yang up there just mopping the floor with Joe Biden, creepy Uncle Joe.
So what you were talking about, or one of the things you picked up on, is your takeaway after last night's 2-hour-long program, which, by the way, had a massive sound problem.
They actually contacted me today.
Because MSNBC are losers and fake news, is what I heard. That's what I heard. I heard someone say that on Twitter. Don't know who it was. Surely not the leader of the free world.
Producer Chris, they left everybody's mics open. The control room was open. They went through, like, NBC decided they were going to put every damn person on the payroll, on the MSNBC payroll, on the show.
I heard.
So they had like four people hosting, or 3 people hosting. They had 3 people hosting, and then somebody wandering around the crowd as well. So
like Donahue.
Yeah, like Phil Donahue back in the day, or Sally Jesse Raphael. They had like these 4 people working the first hour, and then for no particular reason, instead of having one moderator that kept the show online, it was like, hey, the actual stars are the host of the show, not the guests. And they changed from the first 3 to then they had the chick that looks like Jeff Vibbert and
Rachel Maddow.
Yeah,
looks like Jeff Vibbert.
and the dude that hosts Meet the Press, but not Tim Russer, because he's been gone for a while.
He died 12 years ago.
So the new host of Meet the Press, those 2 hosted that, and when they took the chairs, all of the mics for the previous 14 hosts that have been on the show were still open, plus the control room. So once you heard that, oh my God, it's gone terribly wrong, and they were yelling at each other that was happening, those mics were also open.
Great.
And the mics that were on the crowd for the crowd reaction were open. So Chuck Todd, the replacement dude of Tim Russert, is there trying to ask a question of Elizabeth Warren about a school shooting, and instead nobody can hear a damn thing, and they try like 2 or 3 times, and then it just turns into more screaming from the control room about how they need to fix this, and Chuck's yelling back at them saying, we have a huge problem, and nobody can hear me, but everybody can hear you. And then
this is great. I need to look this up.
And then they cut to commercial. Yeah.
Oh, this is beautiful.
Yep. It was a total train wreck. They really do need to find Chris Guffey and hire him away from us.
It's true.
I'll never watch MSNBC again.
No, that's fine. No,
I agree. Because
completely
they're fake news
fine
and boring.
Hashtag Boss Hog of Liberty every day. Every day.
So yeah, that happened. And then they like my takeaways, like I posted, and Dakota, you can go through these and read them in my voice for me. That'll be great content.
Ooh.
But I basically went through, and as I was seeing stuff happen, You can go to my page.
You don't have a voice?
I don't have a voice for Jeremiah.
You don't have a Jer voice? Hold on, let's see what I
got.
got.
He doesn't have a distinct voice, so it's just...
Really? I thought the voice of an angel.
You've got a very average voice, and I feel like I just couldn't be able to duplicate that. If you had something weird going on, then I would be able to do it.
All right, let's see. I'm scrolling back.
When not in power, Democrats care about congressional approval for war. Check back when they are at the White House.
Because they were all of a sudden one of these dudes that we don't know about was like, they're bombing people and it's wrong. And I'm like, what the hell, people?
You get the question that says what have you done for XYZ community? Reject the premise. Individuals matter, not groups.
Oh, you're going the other way.
He's going inverse order.
Oh.
Someone said gold standard. Sadly, it wasn't about monetary policy. It was about climate change. We got a couple of sad reacts to that.
Yeah, they were.
Look at the sad reacts.
Cory Booker does have credibility on criminal justice.
He is credible. He does have credibility.
Was his first issue in the Senate. Worked with Rand Paul. Booker is all in on licensing rights. And then this one was my favorite, actually. Warren's answers tonight, research. And spend more on research.
Literally, like she got two big questions, and it was we need to research this thing, and then give all the research away for free, but you have to open up businesses in the United States. And then the next thing was we need to research something.
Then of course,
and that was the one that got the angry comments from the distant
family. There we go.
It was, yes,
yeah.
it was.
How do you?
It was
your cousin Elizabeth Wolstenholme.
Yeah.
Wolstenholme.
That's a cousin, eh?
That's a
very
cousin?
distant. Yes.
Very distant.
And then you said Tulsi recognized that we were only making things worse by attacking Iran, and you did like the little praise hands, like, woo.
Yeah, I had to spend a lot of time finding the praise hands. That was very complicated.
I'm going to give her a heart react just so she feels. I will give you a astonished reaction. So there you go.
I think it's called the wow.
Is that what it is? Not astonished?
Yeah, I think that's the wow react, Mark. But anyway,
Mark.
I agree with you. Tulsi did a really good job. Tulsi's one of my favorites. I listened to her interview on the Joe Rogan Experience.
Now, she did, like, her very first opening statement, the first time she got to talk, she was like, we need to stop dropping bombs. We've been in perpetual war. We need to stop doing this, stop doing this, stop doing this. And I'm like, yes. And then and then all the money we're wasting on this, we need to spend on other shit.
Here's my thing. Here's my theory. The Democrat Party has found itself in a place where if you are not offering the very progressive free packages, the New Deal of the 21st century, then you just don't stand a chance. And I think that people like Tulsi Gabbard, for instance, she's up there and she's talking about running for president. And I think that her main focus and the reason that she wants to run for president is because she is tired of the foreign intervention. And she knows that if she doesn't mention anything about like free health care, free education, then she's never going to get on the debate stage. She's never going to stand a fighting chance. I think the same thing about Yang. I think that you
think he actually doesn't believe any of that, but he's placating them so that he can play the game.
I think that I do think that they believe into it to some extent. But one of the things that I like about both of those people, Andrew Yang and Tulsi Gabbard, I believe, and I could be totally dead wrong, but I think that they are way more open-minded on those issues than any of the other people that are up there on the debate stage and just say, you get college paid for, and they have an Oprah Winfrey platform. But I think that that's one of the important things that we need to think about when we are trying to select our candidates for president is how well they are going to listen to people that are advising them.
Of those that were on the stage last night, Tulsi is the one that connected with me the most.
Yes, me too.
Cory Booker did notice that we have more people in prison for nonviolent stuff than anybody else in the world, and that was big. I'm probably not voting for Cory Booker. And I don't think he'll be on the stage.
Beto O'Rourke, he spoke in Spanish, and that really connected with me.
I'm just saying, it's just like Jared said. You had to know the answers in Spanish before you got them.
Yep.
Before the question came.
That's what they're going to be doing tonight.
Hola, ¿cómo estás? Me llamo Christopher. That's all I got, man.
Beto is such a weird character, and I think that he and Elizabeth Warren are very similar in the fact that they are going to. I think that they are both going to try to run these campaigns where they are feel-good campaigns, and they're going to give you politician answers. And I think Bernie Sanders even is this way to an extent, even though a lot of people have a lot of trust in him. But I think that they are basically the high schooler running for student body president that is promising you nacho cheese fountains in the cafeteria. They don't mean it. They
wait a minute.
They just want
we
the
are
position.
talking nacho cheese fountains here.
It's a big deal.
I just want to
even if they aren't being serious. I mean, they brought it up, right? There's a chance.
I keep myself willfully ignorant of all of this because I just it's too much to keep up on. But I do want to get rid of all the old people. I just don't.
You fully support that.
It's very depressing to see old people. We've had an old president now. Let's just get rid of the old people.
Do you vote for the youngest person on the ballot? Is basically what you do. Whoever is not 90, you just vote for them.
Well, I haven't voted in a long time. It just got too hard.
Do you need us to pick you up at the door?
You're one of those. You're just like Chase Payton.
Yeah. Well, I voted.
You're a loser.
Last time.
Chase totally meant to vote, but he forgot to.
I did. Well, thing is, there's too many people. They'll root out probably any of the ones that we like.
Bradley
anyway,
Wood said that they.
Who cares?
This is really funny. Bradley Wood said that they should have the guy from Mad Money on, and he should be the one that's moderating the debate. That is Jim Cramer. That would be hilarious. That would have been so great.
Who you may recognize from Arrested Development.
And,
Development.
one thing about Mr. Jim Cramer is he's a fellow Elk member.
Yes.
Really?
Very prominent Elk member. Yeah.
I did not know that.
Probably the third most prominent Elk member after Dakota and myself.
That's why if you go into the Elks Club on a Wednesday night, they always have Mad Money playing at the bar.
When you said Mad Money, the first person that came to my mind was Matthew Lesko. You remember Matthew Lesko?
Because of the movie, right?
No, Matthew Lesko was like this infomercial dude.
Yeah, he's the guy with the question marks on. Free money? Free.
Yeah. Running up and down the stairs in his green question mark shirt. Yeah.
I have a very
childhood.
I have a really vague memory of somewhere in my life seeing that.
Yeah, the guy with the it's if you stayed up in the 90s past 2 a.m.
and you watched Channel 23.
Maybe that was my first memory.
It is. Matthew Lesko was your first memory.
What a life you've had.
Yeah.
So,
is Phil Donahue? Is he still alive?
Oh man,
why don't they get him to do one of those damn debates?
Can we get a price check on Abe Vigoda and Phil Donahue?
I think he might still be alive because remember he would wander through the audience and then he would throw in the occasional question. Now I would watch one of these debates if Phil Donahue
is alive.
Wait, if I had to say Phil Donahue, pick his age, how old would Phil Donahue be? Should he still be alive? Which he is.
80. Between 81 and 83.
What the? How'd you do that?
Phil Donahue is 83 years old.
Really? Nice. Good for him.
I'm impressed. That was laser specific. Phil Donahue has not been in the national consciousness in 22 years.
Well, you almost said very specifically, you almost said 83, and then you were like 83. Between 81 and 83.
I was thinking that he retired probably in 96, and then I was thinking he was, because I remember he wasn't that old when the ship, but he did have the gray hair. So yeah, 83 seemed about right. In 2000, in 1996, would have put him about 1960.
This is the most impressive thing I've ever seen in the history of the world. And he gives us 1996. How strong do you feel about 96 as being the end of the Donahue?
I want to
show?
say he was 68 to 96. Although on the network, probably 84 to 96. I think he was just.
Did he just Rain Man this?
Yeah, he did.
Phil Donahue started his show at WHIO, Channel 7 in Dayton, 1967.
See, I was off.
He went, that went through 1974 in Dayton.
Chicago.
It then went to Chicago from 74 to 85.
Ooh, I'm off by 1 year each time.
And then New York City from 85 to.
Yeah, did I get that
1996.
Boom.
I've never been more impressed in my entire life. Yes. That's
awesome knowledge.
That is truly ridiculous. Is there anybody else that we should know about that you have like this? Sally Jesse Raphael is the other one that I think of from my childhood of the daytime TV crap that would have been happening.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Do you have similar knowledge of her? How old is she?
How old is she? Yeah.
Women are harder because there's been work done from time to time.
I mean, I want to say probably around the same area as Phil Donahue, 79 to 84. I'm going to make it a little wider. And I want to say that her show was on till maybe 2000-ish. But I probably am wrong on all those accounts.
Sally Jeffsey Raphael is 84 years old.
Ooh! Wow, very nice.
This is truly impressive. By the way, this is not what we planned. Her program went off the air in 2002.
Ooh,
that's close.
You missed it by 2 years.
That
is not bad. That's the end of your high school career.
Would you watch the debate? Phil Donahue, from what little I remember of his show, I don't think. I mean, he had a liberal bias, but not too bad. I mean, he was a little liberal bent, but I mean, I think he'd still be a fair interviewer in these questions. He had a lot of pretty hardcore right wingers on. Was very fair with them. And I think it kind of, if he moderated every debate is, if he still, I don't know if Phil Donahue still has his.
Does he have his faculties?
If he doesn't, all the better.
Who else? Bob Barker?
Ricky Lake.
Ricky
Barker.
Ricky Lake might be too current for you.
Bob Barker was born in 1923.
Are you kidding me right now?
No, you can't do that.
Bob Barker, you think, is born in 1923. So how old does that make Bob Barker?
Bob Barker would be probably either 95 or 96.
The shit-eating grin on Dakota Davis's face right now.
He was born on December 12th, 1923. How do you know this?
And he would be another good one for.
Do you play a lot of bar trivia?
It would be
there.
narrow.
I think it would be
narrow bar trivia.
Let's send Mark on Jeopardy.
Good at it.
Mark Brim has Indy 500 quality knowledge that I have, but it's for 70s and 80s talk show hosts.
Yep.
So Ricky Lake, I think, is too current for you. She's been off the air for quite some time. Do you even know who Ricky Lake is?
It's not really there.
Yeah, see, I didn't think so.
She's considerably younger, though, right?
She's only 50.
Oh, wow. Very young.
Yeah. Of course, the other one that you would probably know is the guy that was the mayor of Cincinnati.
Oh, Jerry Springer.
Yeah. You have any read on him?
He was either born in probably early 40s, 42, 44-ish.
Pick one.
42.
44.
Damn.
This is still
the
impressive.
fact that he's this close.
Yeah, he's 2 years off.
Were there rumors of him running for rumors of him running for governor of Ohio?
Probably, yeah. He was the mayor of Cincinnati back in the day, in the 70s, I believe.
He really was?
You didn't know that?
No, I had no
idea. Yeah, he resigned. Didn't he pay a hooker with a check? So he resigned.
Is that wrong? If somebody had told me that was wrong, I wouldn't have done that. But they didn't tell me.
How much did he pay the hooker? I mean,
can I say hooker these days? Is that?
I think so.
Prostitute, a lady of
sex
the night.
Worker. I believe is the correct term.
He paid her with. I think he resigned from something because he paid. He paid a prostitute with a check. I think
he resigned in 1974 after admitting to hiring a prostitute.
Well, I mean, our president.
He got caught the same way that.
Our president hired a porn star while his wife was pregnant.
He got caught.
It's really not that big of a scandal.
The same way that Bob Kraft did. Check Springer had written with pinned to the wall of their office of the Fort Wright, Kentucky massage parlor. They didn't cash it; they just pinned it to the wall, and the memo said "for services rendered."
At least they didn't try to accuse him of sex trafficking like they did with poor Robert Kraft.
Yes. So back to the presidential debates.
Sorry, I didn't mean to derail you there. It was just
I'm still shocked and amazed that you knew the year of birth for Bob Barker.
It is impressive.
Guffey, do you know what Bob Barker's catchphrase was?
I know he's on The Price is Right. Oh, come on down. You're the next contestant.
No, that's
Rod
Roddy.
Yeah.
Poor bastard died of breast cancer.
Dang it.
No, you don't remember his sign off? It's about your dogs and cats.
Oh, spayed and neutered.
Have your pet spayed and neutered. All right.
Hold on. Yeah. On that, that's when you knew you were good. On your sick days from school, or when you were pretending to be sick, when The Price is Right
I never did that. I was very honest.
Well,
I was homeschooled. We never had the option.
Yeah, well. Anyways, for us delinquents, when The Price is Right came on the TV, you were good to go.
Yeah.
You weren't going to school.
You watched The Price is Right, and then right after it would be Let's Make a Deal. And you were like, Let's Make a Deal. What a ripoff.
Sleep is what happened then. Okay.
The price is wrong, Bob.
By the way, and then you can get back, and then back to you. There's a great documentary on Netflix about this guy who total Rain Man about The Price is Right. Have you seen this one?
No.
He obsessed about The Price is Right and knew the price of everything and attended the studio audience like hundreds of times and wound up totally like breaking the show at one point. Got
every single price right down to the very cent.
When he was on, he bombed out right during the wheel, but then he went years later and was giving indications to someone else, and they went straight through, even guessed the Showcase Showdown right to the exact penny. And it was the first time the show was ever in this kind of jeopardy, and it was amazing.
What documentary?
What era was this?
This documentary?
No, when did this happen? Like 80s?
This 70s, happened 70s through the Drew Carey era because this guy was like that.
He did it that long.
He has computer program. He designed himself and charted this guy is meticulous about The Price is Right.
Really?
Every episode can tell you who, like the dates of things.
Actual Rain Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was an English teacher at Newcastle that was on The Price is Right.
Really?
Yeah, just for a brief blip.
Yeah, probably.
Like
Goggin?
I
think it was Goggin?
Like, you mean like a brief blip, like as the camera was panning the audience?
No, she guessed the price.
Look, that's me.
She guessed the price, but
right there. Pause it.
It was like the last time. Like
it's me at the Indy 500. You can see our tent right there as the cars are driving by at 240 miles an hour.
Okay. Back to the presidential debate.
If you had to pick a winner last night, then you're saying Tulsi Gabbard.
First of all, we need to determine what makes the winner of the debate.
Is it based on their appeal to your sensibilities?
Okay, so it's based on our opinions.
Free thinking, moderate, whatever you want to call yourself.
You go first, Mark, since you're the guest.
I didn't watch anything.
He has no clue.
I have no clue.
Okay.
I have literally no idea.
Thank you for your valuable input.
Phil Donahue is my bet.
Chris Guffey.
Really, I liked what Tulsi said about the war, but honestly, none of them really impressed me. I wasn't. And I know this is terrible, but every time Cory Booker came on, like they showed his face, I couldn't listen to what he was saying because his lazy eye.
Wow.
I understand.
You went there, huh?
Wow.
It is terrible, but I could not.
Even Brim wouldn't do that.
I could not pay attention.
Good night, Seattle.
We out.
So as I watched it, Tulsi Gabbard spoke the best to me. There are issues I connect, and I tried to explain it to folks that were challenging me last night that I'm bound to agree with about 30% of what the Democrats say, 30 to 40%. Not sure they believe everything they say, but about 30% of the time, the Democrats are going to align with me, if not more. Same thing happens with the Republicans. That's why generally for my political leanings, going back and forth kind of helps because the Republicans give you tax cuts and, the Democrats give you equality. When they actually start talking like we're not going to start bombing Iran and, wage endless wars, forever, then that's a big deal. When Tulsi Gabbard said Afghanistan didn't bomb us on 9/11, that was a big deal, right? It was the Taliban. It wasn't 9/11. She was challenging Tim Ryan and kind of took him to school.
Al-Qaeda.
Okay. Yes. I'm sorry. She was very strong with that one. The other person that I thought had a moment that was very appealing to the Trump voter, that's in our area is Tim Ryan.
Yes, I agree.
When he was talking about, hey, we've had a problem in the auto industry and the manufacturing industry for 40 years, he was talking right to the core Trump voter. I don't think he has any chance in hell of winning the Democratic nomination, but of the 10 people that were on the stage last night, I think he is the one guy that can connect to the guy from Youngstown, Ohio, the people he represents in Congress. He's the one guy that can connect to the guy from Newcastle, from Appleton, Wisconsin, from Kokomo, Indiana, from Flint, Michigan. He's the guy that understands what they're doing in manufacturing communities. At least he articulated the way they feel and what they think.
So more of a good old boy Democrat.
Yes.
What happened to those? I remember when I was a kid, those guys. Yeah, the blue
Barron Hills, those folks. He is the single candidate on there that wasn't from. And Amy Klobuchar is a little bit different because she's been in Washington a long time and she sounds more polished and she doesn't sound like the local, I called it the Great Lakes people, the Great Lakes demographic, the Great Lakes Rust Belt states. Everybody else was appealing to the immigration issues in the South. So that the folks dealing with the southern border or the East Coast, the elites of Elizabeth Warren, or the West Coast folks that, Kamala Harris is going to be appealing to. Tonight, the guy that may have the same opportunity, but he's going to be different, is Pete Buttigieg from Indiana, who speaks to people on a totally different level. But he's the one that has the optimistic and the idealistic views that's very similar to what Obama had in 2008.
Yeah, but do we think that Mayor Pete can recover from the most recent gaffe of the police shooting in South Bend?
The story's not written on that one yet. That just happened. I don't think the narrative's defined.
Oh man, there were people screaming at him during that press briefing of "You can't even run a city. How can you run our country?" It was pretty.
He was due for a gaffe, though. He'll get past it. This is his one thing.
Yeah. I don't think
it wasn't.
Maybe he stole something from Woolworths as a kid, but I mean,
it's not been just that gaffe too. I mean, his husband's brother came forward and said, my brother tries to paint himself as this huge victim and say that he had such a horrible life as a gay man, but everyone in our family was totally accepting of him. So
really?
That was a kind of a big deal too.
We'll see. I think the narrative's still being decided, but I think tonight's debate's going to be big for Mayor Pete. I really think that it's going to come down to my view. If I'm handicapping the Democrats so far, I think it's going to be.
Can we take a bet?
I mean, if you want to.
Sure.
Biden.
I'm throwing no money in.
Yeah, you are.
No, I'm not.
You have to.
Nope. Yep. I'm broke.
I think Biden.
I know you gave me quarters today.
Buttigieg.
You gave me your laundry money.
What did you do? Did something happen terribly? Did somebody repossess a truck?
No. I keep quarters in there for the car wash, for the little pressure washer car washes, and that's what I gave you. I usually keep like $5 in there for the sweepers and the
not
pressure
anymore.
Washer,
You don't.
Don't have it.
Biden, Sanders, and Buttigieg are the three that I think are the best. Have the best chance.
I agree.
On the Democratic side. I think those three, you got the two old war horses from the past generation, and I think Pete Buttigieg is the one out there. Castro was really impressive last night. He said some stuff that was that struck me a little bit as well. Everybody, had a moment here or there. Delaney, I think I made a post about how they were asking about gun control, and he would not shut up at all. He was talking out of turn. And I posted something about if you speak one more time, they're going to just shoot you with a paintball gun. Delaney was out of control. Dude, you barely made the stage, and you've never heard of was just going nuts. But
you also have to remember there was 10 people on stage, so they had to all try to.
And that's the thing that I don't like about the debate is that some of these questions that they're asking require a lot of nuance, a lot of thinking, and you get
30 seconds. A minute.
A few seconds to answer
get 90
this,
seconds
this question.
3 to 4 times.
A question that it could take 90 days for someone to really think over, stew over, and figure out their correct position on this, and then you get a few seconds, and that's what you give to the world. It's a really horrible format to decide who you're going to vote on. It's weird.
So Guffey, you got thoughts on who you thought won and who's potentially the best? Or who's going to come out the other side of this thing?
Yeah, that's what I was looking at. I mean, you took the top three, obviously. Biden's going to appeal more to the moderate Democrats. Sanders is going to.
None of these three were on the stage last night, by the way. The three we picked.
Yeah, and that's what's going to be crazy is all three. Tonight's the night of the heavy hitters. Honestly, you could have honestly skipped last night and you would have been fine. You would have. You could have skipped last night and you would have been fine.
I think Elizabeth Warren.
Last night was a tremendous waste of time.
Yeah, none of them boring.
I think Elizabeth Warren will make it far.
I don't think she will. I don't think she will. Obviously, Biden's going to be more with the moderates. Sanders is going to be with the young generation and the socialists. Pete's also going to be with the younger generation, more open, obviously.
I'm interested to see how Pete does.
I think Yang, if he could just get some more publicity and if he could just narrow down to a few things instead of having an opinion on everything.
That's kind of his issue, right? That he appeals to the people that are like that are really heavy on policy and want an opinion on everything, but he has none of the emotional appeal.
Yeah.
And that is another problem with these Democrat debates, is that every single person that's on the stage is trying to appeal to the emotions of the voter that's in the crowd.
Yeah, well, it's like Jared said. Was it Castro that you compared to Clinton about he knew
Castro? Yeah, Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton was
about
very
emotions,
good in the 90s at when he was giving a State of the Union or he was doing a town hall. He would find that lady in the second row and make her an example of how she was suffering because of the policy of the Republicans. Castro did a great job of making it personal last night. Didn't matter what the policy was or what he was talking about. He had the Clintonian ability to connect with people.
All right, so you have to narrow down. You can't take all three of the top power hitters. Narrow down to two.
You think he's going to win it?
I'll give you two.
You're going to give me two?
You pick one, I pick one, you pick one.
Give me Buttigieg.
You want Mayor Pete?
Yep.
Man, I'm going to take Biden.
Yeah, that was the other one I was going to take.
You going to take Sanders then?
Let me pick a dark horse.
Ooh. Oh, you want the under? You want the underdog?
Let me take an underdog.
Who you want?
Let me. This won't come home. Okay. But give me Tim Ryan for connecting with the Upper Midwest.
Ooh.
It won't come home. He's not. He's not the next president. But he does connect with the Upper Midwest in a way that I don't think the Democrats realize they need to right now.
And you got Tim Ryan, huh? So does that mean I got to take a dark horse?
Yeah. Come on, take Tulsi before Dakota gets her.
Dakota's not betting.
Not right now.
He's scared of it.
There's no money on the line here. We're just talking.
He spent all his quarters.
We're spitballing amongst friends.
Let me look.
So while he's looking, what I want is, and would you say this is Sanders? I want, because the pendulum swung really far in the other direction after Obama. We got Trump, this shit show, and all of its entertainment. Now I want the pendulum to go all the way to the other crazy.
That's Sanders.
And is that Sanders?
Yeah.
Great, let's do it.
No.
Sanders is not the other crazy.
Yes.
Sanders is not the most extreme.
Who's the most extreme?
Bill de Blasio.
Okay, there we go. Let's go with him. I'm not betting that he won it. I just want him to go straight to the White House right now.
He did have very Trump.
Let's do it.
Trump-esque last night. He was very Trump-esque, I guess.
I want the other former crazy for a few, just to see what that's like, to do a total 180. But I also want to see how entertainers handle that.
If you guys are watching on the Facebook Live, or you're watching, who's the farthest left you can get? Who do you think is absolutely to the far left of this deal? Jeremiah at BossHogOfLiberty.com. Or post it in the chat.
I think that you're right. I think it's de Blasio.
Because I was tempted to say Sanders just because that's who they painted it as last time. But that's what I want.
I mean, Sanders is
the
out
needle.
there.
Sanders moved the needle so far to the left in the last cycle that now the only person that's even trying to be remotely conservative, or not conservative, moderate, is actually Beto O'Rourke. Wow. Beto's the one guy last night that was like, yeah, we should still have it a crime to cross the border illegally.
Hey, would you consider Yang an underdog?
Castro was saying we need to just say the hell with it, and it's not a crime to cross without permission. And he was calling on every other candidate in the race to do that. And Beto said no, because that's very complicated, and there's a lot of problems with that.
Interesting.
All right, I got mine.
Yeah.
Who's yours?
My dark horse is Mike Gravel.
Mike Gravel.
Whoa.
Gravel.
Mike Gravel has run for president.
I've never even heard that name.
I think he actually was a libertarian for 10
minutes. Democratic and libertarian candidate for president in 2008.
Yeah.
Huh.
He's 89. That's why I went with him. I know none of his policies. I'm going for the 89-year-old.
Let's do it.
He's
Is he from Alaska?
He is.
Yeah, man. I'm like Mark Brim good, Bob Barker knowledge.
So I got Biden and Gravel or whatever. And
you're picking a guy that was born in 1927.
Yeah, man. I'm
guessing he was born in 1930, but this is just
he can fully remember World War II.
Listen, I got a plan.
Will he live 4 more years? We're going to find out together.
No, this is the plan. He's going to become president. Unfortunately, Father Time will take place. Andrew Yang will be his vice president. Andrew Yang will slide up into the presidency. Calling it now. Could you imagine?
Nope.
I can't either. But it'd be. If I call that,
my winner for last night's debate was Tulsi Gabbard. I think that she's the best one that was up there.
I think she connected with you, but I don't think she's going to connect with the Democrat primary voter.
I agree.
She's the Republican. She's the Ron Paul the Republicans had 12 years ago.
Yeah, I agree. I think that she's I think that she's one that is actually going to listen to people, and I don't think that she's the standard politician. I don't think that she's up there telling you what you want to hear, unless it's something that absolutely she has to depend on for survival in this race, which I think is pretty much a lot of things.
You are
in the
listening
Democratic
to
primary.
the Boss Hog of Liberty podcast on the We're Libertarians Network. We are presented today by farmerbrad.com/Boss Hog of Liberty. They have a very premium chicken waterer available. If you go onto their website and use promo code Boss Hog, you're going to get a discount that nobody else has available.
farmerbrad.com/bosshog.
These deals are crazy.
It is.
It's
it is the chicken waterer you've always wanted and you never knew you needed.
It's normally $60. He's giving it to Boss Hog listeners at farmerbrad.com/bosshog for $57. And he's going to give us $5 if you buy them. So not only are you helping out your baby chickens, not only are you helping out Farmer Brad, but you are also helping out your favorite podcast in East Central Indiana.
And if chickens aren't available in your area now, just know this is a sign of protest for the freedom that's coming. If you send us a picture with your Farmer Brad chicken waterer, we will promote the hell out of it because it's a symbol of freedom.
Speaking about Farmer Brad.
Yes. Oh, check out his YouTube channel as well, because he does reviews on a lot of things. And my favorite video is he does a review on a sheep mating apron, and he puts an anti-mating apron.
Oh,
and he wears it.
It's a chastity belt
and he puts this on and displays this anti-mating apron.
Now I know I'm
this is
aware.
Fascinating stuff.
I'm aware of the apparatus that you would put on your ram that has a piece of chalk on it, so that you know that the transaction has taken place.
Yes,
if you get the little,
this is
if
so
you
it
get the-
doesn't take place.
Let's not talk about
If
that.
you
Let's get back to the
if you
heart
get
of the issue.
If you get the piece of chalk on the back,
The
of your
heart of the
view,
issue
you know
is
you
that
probably have a land company
Aaron
5 months.
Dickin is keeping the citizens of Newcastle from having chickens, and therefore keeping money out of the pockets of Farmer Brad LLC and
Yes.
Boss Hog of Liberty, a downtown business.
He doesn't care about downtown businesses. He doesn't.
So Farmer Brad is in Wayne County, Indiana, and he's had some issues.
He's
Mr.
dangerously close to Greens Fork, Indiana.
Ooh.
He's the chicken farmer, and he's having trouble. He had to pay a big bribe to the county to erect a high tunnel,
Yes.
which is for growing. I assume he grows some sort of hemp and hemp products or something.
He
over there.
does. He does.
And
Lots of
illegal things. Yeah.
Lots of illegal things. It's the place to go to get it. You can get an entire bale of Mary Jane in a bale. But
But only in the high tunnel. The
only
high
in
times
the
tunnel.
high tunnel.
The high
That's why
times tunnel.
He already had this tunnel in place to grow delicious produce. And he got a grant for this, but then they started nipping away at it. Was too close to this and that property. One thing after another, they've been just hounding his ass for his pastured poultry because of these chicken water buckets for doing manufacturing. Thank you, manufacturing on site, and he's got to get just a ton. They're covering him with paperwork. This is a guy who's selling pastured poultry, some produce, and a bucket to water chickens.
Now, last week, Cade Koger told us that you could live on 10 acres and make a great living, but it sounds like in Wayne County, Farmer Brad is really struggling with the thumb of big government.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. They are just pinning him against the wall with just one thing after another.
And as you said, $200 is a lot of money for you. Farmer Brad's had to come up with a couple $100 each time. Every time they turn around and decide he's got a new ordinance he's violated. It's not that it's a problem. It's just that he hasn't paid the upfront fee yet. He doesn't have permission to use his land yet. Is that the way this has gone?
I think he's using it. He gave us the rundown in a message, but I didn't read it all. I don't have Messenger on my phone, so I don't really know how to. The thing where on Messenger you can read them. I don't have Messenger, so then I switch my phone to desktop mode, but then I have to enlarge it. It's too hard to keep up on. But they've been holding his feet to the fire. And this is just a small operation.
Brim, what do I have to do to put you in Messenger today?
To put me in Messenger?
Yeah.
My phone doesn't download really any apps or anything.
Huh? How does that work?
I don't have Wi-Fi, so I could really.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Mark's phone.
It's also his wallet.
Yep.
It's Republic Wireless, $12.82 a month for my cell phone bill, and
Incredible.
You say $12.82 a month?
$12.82 a month. Republic Wireless.
You've piqued his interest.
Yeah.
But Farmer Brad,
Yeah.
he wanted to acquire some land and erect some billboards
He lives near the
said
interstate.
land.
Yeah. He lives near the interstate. Wanted to do that. I think
Help to try to
yeah.
get supplement his income and be more have an income that's more steady than relying on his chickens and produce and his chicken waterers. And then this caused the government of Wayne County to start looking into the property that he already owns.
He was being totally on the up and up, sending them like some overheads of his property, saying
You never want to tell him what you're doing.
If I did this,
First
what
law
would be
of Farm
the
Club is
repercussions
you don't tell
of
him
this,
this.
and on, and then he's on their radar, and they won't leave the guy alone.
So now he's facing some money that he has to pay to the county government, correct? So
Just to keep doing what he knows how to do.
Yep.
And this
So
is a
the-
travesty and an outrage, and that's why no one wants to live in Wayne County anymore. That's why we're all moving to Henry County.
Is that true?
This is where it's at. Yeah.
Can you move
Wow.
to Ward 3, Newcastle?
Yes.
All the voters.
Can you imagine the commute you would have to Earlham College?
I'll tell you what, I'll make it for you. I will
Brisket
drive you there
College.
You would drive me?
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be great.
every day.
That'd be great.
Do you have any jobs for him at Earlham College? You maybe
John,
you
I
take
don't
the
know.
trash or
I've been
something?
gone for a long time. I don't know what's there.
Farmer Brad is commenting right now, and he said
am.
they didn't have the ordinance online that he was in violation of, so he had to pay $10 to get a paper copy of it.
$10?
And he put it on his
Welcome to Wayne
website.
County.
And so he pays $10 to get the ordinance, and he puts it on his website, being good guy Brad.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, he put it on his website. It must not be too hard, so they put it on their website as well.
Well, look at that.
I've been very critical of Henry County government and the lack of transparency on their website and how slow they've been to get things up. I will give a shout out. Wayne County, their clerk has done a great job with election paperwork and putting it out there. But I was so impressed. If you guys go to I think it's Wells County, Indiana.
Yeah, Wells County.
Their county page for the commissioners is off the charts, transparent and well done. Every agenda that's coming up is posted. Every member of
Really?
every board is listed. When their terms are, every name and email address is on there. I was blown away at how well Wells County does. They are the model for local government.
Why do counties fail at this so much?
I don't know.
I don't understand. Richmond, Indiana, Wayne County, you can't find anything out. If you want to look up anything, if you want to look up a festival, there's no online presence for a lot of these towns. I don't understand it. It seems like an easy thing to do with it being 2019 and all.
It is the current year.
Yeah. I mean, the year that Phil Donahue
The year of
is
our
83.
Lord.
Yeah.
The year of our Lord 2019. 2009. AD.
All right. Other local news, Dakota. This is
But
what
anyway,
said-
we
this-
talked about Farmer Brad because he is sponsoring this episode, and like we said, he's in this issue with the Wayne County government, and they are levying some fines his way. He's had to pay for some things. So really, whenever we say you're helping out Farmer Brad if you buy this chicken water, and that's all he's asking. He just wants you to buy his chicken water.
And you're hydrating chickens.
You're really doing him a solid.
You're helping Brad fight the government.
It's $57, which is way less than the $200 ticket that Mark Brim got in Greens Fork. So
For just the price of 4 chicken waters, Mark Brim could be free.
I could be free. Yeah.
he could get cheese again.
I'm driving through Greens Fork on the way home. Is it? You can flip off cops now, right?
Yeah,
they say that's
correct.
okay.
Russell
it's-
Brooksbank proved that
Okay.
it's totally legal and it's fine.
Freedom of speech, man.
I want to
It's your
say
First Amendment right.
the officer that pulled me over was nothing but a gentleman. He was a really nice
except
guy.
for the ticket writing.
Except for writing me a ticket that was totally unjustified. Otherwise,
You know,
I
you
think he
didn't-
was 17, so I'm really proud
You
of that.
know what
little,
you didn't do
little
right?
guy. I'm proud of you, little guy, in your police car.
We were talking about shaving earlier. You're saying this man's never shaved in his life. He doesn't have to do that sort of a thing.
I don't believe it
I
was
was
dark. I
definitely
couldn't tell.
shaving whenever I was
They come up to your
17.
passenger side now. They come up to your passenger side because it's safer. It was on a
Well, it's a
highway.
very busy road.
I have crank windows. Well, then I'm. It's really. was really hard. I had to do a little yoga just to get to the guy.
Speaking of
course,
this,
you had your seatbelt buckled, so then we had to unbuckle your seatbelt.
Unbuckle.
And then by the time you lean over,
I've
he's
seen
like,
these videos where cops they shoot people nowadays. They shoot them all the time.
Nowadays.
So I said, this has never happened before. So I said, I need to come over there and roll my window down. And he was like, huh? Because he's never seen a crank window. He's 20 years old.
This is not your green truck. This is a modern truck.
My white Chevrolet Silverado is a 2007 work truck model.
This is made in the 2000s.
Right. And so, and I kind of went like, made the motion of, and I think he finally got it. And then I crawled across the seat and rolled the window down so he could get me a $200 ticket.
Well, if you had an automatic window opener,
payable to the Hagerstown Town Court tanning salon video rental and Dale's Pizza.
That's all in the Patreon. Let's not go there again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You got to pay the extra money to get the full story.
But if you had
the full story available there.
If you had been a few miles to the west, and had been in Henry County, and you decided to just raise absolute hell with this 17-year-old police officer that was an absolute gentleman.
He was 20. I bet he was 22. That guy, you go guy. I'm so proud of you, little fella.
Then he would have taken you to the Henry County Jail, which is just infested with the bubonic plague and rats. They're carrying the bubonic
Weenie World,
plague.
do they cater to the jail? Can you get Weenie World there?
They don't even cater to the jail. The conditions are so bad, Weenie World doesn't even go to it.
There's like a joke you could make there, but I wouldn't know.
Well, you know what? Weenie World might be a potential sponsor because they're the only ones that have the crunch cone coating, so they have my utmost respect to Weenie World.
I think Dakota's drunk. Is Weenie World on Grubhub?
I love that crunch coat. The candied peanuts and sprinkles.
I truly feel like Dakota is drunk tonight at this point.
They used to have it at Bill's Diner when you were a kid. There's something really nostalgic about that crunch coat.
Pour one out for Bill's Diner, everybody.
I love it.
Biscuits and gravy.
But anywho.
Blue River Coast Guard members for life.
Anywho.
Yeah.
The jail is so bad that we've decided as a county that something needs to be done.
No, we didn't know.
Well, we didn't really decide.
The government came down and said, we need to do something.
You have to do something.
They're going to do something about the dirt floors now.
Yep. Well, there was a lawsuit because our jail was so bad.
Really?
Yeah. Somebody got killed there.
Oh, my God.
Yep. So, Madison County, is that right?
Yep.
Madison County and Henry County.
This is quite true.
Are they're considering consolidating and saying we're going to be like co-parents and co-parent our delinquents in our counties by building a jail that is one facility that houses all the inmates for both counties.
And how's that going around here? Are people in favor of that?
There's been a lot of talk, but you know what? We're more focused on wind farms here.
Oh yeah.
So I haven't heard a lot about the jail situation in a while.
The discussion was tonight at 6 o'clock. Henry County and Madison County's commissioners and county council were all meeting at 6 to 7 to listen to it, and then the regular Henry County council meeting was to happen afterwards. Now, I wonder if the jail conversation rolled into that, or if, like a couple weeks ago, the councilmen get ambushed by the wind farms, like the commissioners did. We don't know, because we're not there.
We're not there.
Your jail can't be any worse than... do you read these occasional stories about the jail in Union County, just south of me? Liberty, Indiana. Their jail was built in 1890. It looks like something out of a sitcom, and it's horrible.
Hold on, let me see if I.
Where you're walking there, there's a sheriff with his legs propped up on the desk.
Yeah,
with the keys.
Buford T. Justice is there.
Yeah, there's 3 jail cells.
I've never heard of this before. Union County, which I love. I think Liberty's a pretty town, but and they have Jay's Dairy Inn, which is delicious. But
and Norris English Pub.
Yeah, and oh my God! But that county is 7,000 people.
And that beautiful grocery store. What is the grocery store?
They are Woodruff's.
Yes.
But
and stay out of Woodruff.
They are so poor that there's a possibility. There's talk of them not being a county anymore after like a couple years. They can't. I've never heard of a county just not being able to exist.
You know what? We're just going to dissolve this whole thing.
Yeah, they're just ready to walk away from the whole thing.
Most of the official county signs look like they belong in a state park.
They do. They do. Welcome to beautiful Liberty. Yeah,
home of Union or Whitewater State Park.
Yeah. I've never noticed that before. I've never taken note of that before. You're right. Their sign, it's not like a brick sign. It's just the wooden...
No, it looks like welcome to a national forest. This is Union County.
And I love it. I think the courthouse is beautiful. I love the little town square, but apparently, the county is 7,000 people. In the story I read,
that's all they have is 7,000 people.
The county, yeah. And so they might just have to. I don't know what you do. How do you not county anymore? What happens to the courthouse?
I guess they just give themselves up to
it becomes a fireworks outlet.
They give themselves.
It becomes a libertarian safe haven.
Yes,
it's Liberty, Indiana, and it has no government authority anymore.
It's perfect.
I'm
going to go rob Jay's after that. All the fried chicken.
They have. I'm a big fan of that place. It's a place we like to go and play.
It's a cute little town.
It's like my second favorite community after Henry County because we are the Boss Hog of Liberty. It's the hometown of Bob Jenkins, the world famous racing announcer. Wow. And
these are things I didn't know.
And on the south side of town, they have a liquor store with the ice dispenser outside.
Yeah,
you just put a quarter in, and here's 50 pounds of ice.
And it was mentioned on TV a couple years ago on the Sherlock TV show. There was some clue that was Liberty, and then he wipes the dust off. Oh, this is from Liberty, Indiana. It was.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah. So,
nerds.
But anyways,
it's a good show. You ever seen it?
PBS show. So I don't know if you. I mean,
I don't support public television.
Yeah.
Is that the one with Benedict Cumberbatch?
Yeah.
Actually, we've talked
PBS,
about this before.
Man, that's BBC.
I'm in the Rich Truth fan club of the Ask This Old House. I think we went over that a couple weeks ago. This Old House and Ask This Old House, great show.
Pretty much YouTube has taken over that, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not. PBS is not available on the YouTube TV in the Indianapolis market.
Well, that's because they are boring, low quality, fake news.
So I have to use the app.
So sad.
I have to use the app.
Hey, now wait a minute. That's Daniel Tiger's Neighborhood is a lovely show.
So what do you guys think, Dakota? What do you guys think
about what?
About the county jail?
Oh, I think it's a great idea.
Obviously, I mean.
It's one of the things I ran on as a county council candidate. I thought a regional jail is something we need to look at, and I will say that I'm not in favor of private prisons, right? Like prisons for profit. Not a fan. I think that you're probably still going to have some sort of a local presence, a couple of holding cells for people as they have court dates and things locally. Our number one goal should be having the smallest population possible of people in the jails. The state caused the problem that we have. Where we have too many people in the local county jails. This jail here has got significant issues going back to the construction methods that were used. But if we can combine together with another community and make it work and find a way to not have to borrow money, I'm afraid they're still going to raise your taxes and try to borrow money to do it. That's a problem. But a regional jail concept I support.
Is it not possible? And this is just me. I've done no research into this, so I'm not saying that I know it's possible. I'm asking: is it possible for the county commissioners or Mayor York to decriminalize marijuana, small amounts of drug possession?
Because
I know Denver decriminalized psilocybin mushrooms. It's not saying yes it's legal or yes something's totally legal, but it's just decriminalized at that point. They say, you know what? Here in Henry County, our sheriff's department is not going to arrest you if you have marijuana on you anymore.
I think we'd have to refer to our local lawyer, the Boss Hog of Liberty.
That would make life problematic for the PACE team that likes to.
Well, you know what? Shut them down.
Deal with tourists who are passing through.
You know what? My wild idea is to make the police force operate just like a volunteer fire department. They sit there at their headquarters and they don't go anywhere. There's no speed traps. There's nothing until they get called.
Thank God. Yes.
Can I get an amen, brother?
Mark Brim just decided he wanted to run for everything.
Yeah.
That's I'm back in politics, baby.
This is great. Yeah, just have him sit back. Don't.
Yeah, you know what?
Yeah. Just watch TV and
hang out,
we'll
man.
Call you when we
I think
need you.
I think it's way safer for the police officers.
Yeah,
it's also safer for us. Makes us more free. So you know what?
Why
it's
don't
a
they just
win-win.
switch with the firemen for a little bit? Why don't the firemen go out and look for some damn fires? The policemen can just sit back and keep their beds warm.
The policemen can do fire traps. They patrol around all day long and they look for fires to put out.
A lot of backyard bonfires this time of year.
That doesn't make sense. So why are we making our police officers do it?
No. The firemen do that. The policemen.
Well, I'm saying it doesn't make sense. This thought experiment of making the firemen go out and patrol, it doesn't make any sense. So why do we have our police do it?
Is it going to be like, listen, Listen, one of your neighbors called and they smelled marijuana, and you got to put the butt out.
Yeah, you got to put it out.
We're
not going to compensate. You're not going to jail. You just have to extinguish this.
It's like what happens when you have a bonfire out back.
Right.
Listen, we showed up and the neighbors called. So we got to put out your fire.
I think that is the issue.
Now
with,
we have to step on your roach.
I think that's the issue with the police officers that say, "I don't make the laws, I just enforce them." Well, you know what? No one's really. It's not like you have the governor in your squad car with you whenever you decide to arrest that guy for having a dime bag of weed. Just take it from him. I mean, it's like if you're that worried about it.
I've heard of this happening, though.
I've heard of it happening all the time.
I've heard of cops just letting people.
I know I have too. So I'm saying like that's what I'm saying.
Happens all the time in
You hear
Greensport.
about it.
Just don't speed
Constantly.
Don't speed in Greensport.
Yeah,
no.
they'll let you go with your weed, but don't.
That
don't
17-year-old Marshall, he's probably pretty up with the times.
Yeah,
he knows what's down. So,
all right. Final thing I want to get into. What's something you enjoy? This is a Guffey suggested thing.
Yes.
Because last week it was
I already told you what I enjoy.
The laziest thing you do. I want to talk with Mark Brim. What brings joy to your life?
That
what is
most
the
people
thing
don't like.
that everybody else is gonna be like, oh my god.
This is an interesting question you bring up because this has been that usually this time of year I take off July 1st where I work. At an undisclosed location on the west side of Richmond, Indiana. I've worked there since
over by the Quaker Steak and Lube.
And I've worked there for 27. I've worked there for 38 years. I get tons of vacation time, and then I burn it up before July 1st, and a new fiscal year starts, and use it or lose it, blah blah blah. And so usually we go visit my in-laws. My wife's family is way the hell all over the place, so we go on these long trips to see my in-laws, and God love them, and I just don't want to ride in a car that long with my kids. And then or I'll pick up some kind of freelance work.
You just don't love your children.
I just don't. And and oh my god. And
Confessions with Mark.
I'll pick up some freelance work. I'll do something. This has been the first. I have not really done any scrounging.
You posted a post on Facebook.
I made a post the first day of my vacation. I said, I'm off for a lot of, anyone need some hay baling help or something? They don't do that anymore. Everyone does round bales. I just want to do something, earn a little money, do some.
Well, you got some offers though.
They all sucked. None of them sounded. Had to sound fun.
I thought it was hilarious because you put that out there. You made this post of anybody have something to do.
Yeah, anyone have anything?
And
I'm off.
Within like the first 15 minutes, you're flooded with 30 comments of people going, "My living room needs painted. You can come over and do this for me." And then
drywall. A bunch of people wanted me to drywall. I can't drywall. I just want
And then like 10 comments.
I don't think you have enough cigarettes in your pocket to drywall.
Yeah, there's no way.
I can only imagine you going, I got to stop and think about this, and then you burn 3, and then you're like, oh well, I'm going to try this again, and oh shit, I need to go get some drywall spackles, so I got to go to the Menards, and you'd go all day and you wouldn't put a piece of drywall, but you go through 2 packs.
But my favorite part about that post was 10 comments down is Mark Brim going, all of these suggestions suck.
Yeah, they all sucked. I just wanted to bale hay. I hadn't done that since I was 18. But so this is to say, what's something you enjoy? So I've had a wide stretch of time. My wife has picked up some hours that she works part-time. She's picked up some hours where she works. It's been me and my 2 boys at home, or us as a family, or me even by myself. And I keep thinking I have all this time available. For the first time in years, without any goal, without any direction, without anything to whatever, we're going on our trip in July, so we're staying around the area. I don't have, what do I enjoy?
Why hasn't there been a Richmond Street Cheese documentary yet?
There should be. And there's only so much, which it is to say what you enjoy when you get a small amount of time to yourself, is sitting down watching a TV show, having a beer. Happiness, who was it? Dennis Leary said, happiness comes in small little bits. No one is happy, but happiness is in little bits. It's a chocolate chip cookie or he said other things. But with this big stretch of time, what do you enjoy? I have no answer. That has been my problem for 2 weeks now.
Really?
Yeah.
That's why we've got you on the show. You said
that right?
You said I have nothing going on. I have literally nothing on the
Not
calendar.
a house project. I really don't have any.
I have nothing.
Yeah.
And then I said, can you do the show last week? And you said, I'm too busy.
I was. Last week, my wife has needed just a break. She went to visit a friend of hers, so it's just me and my kids. You know all my kids here in your studio.
We might.
They would tear it up.
So you're coming back next Wednesday night.
Am I coming back next Wednesday night?
That's the story.
I'll try. I'll give it a shot.
That's the story we
I'll
have.
be back in my normal life again.
I was looking for Mason Rottinghouse to cut my grass because you were too busy, and Mason disappointed me tremendously.
He's a loser.
All I own is a reel mower.
Yeah, well, that's fine. I would have let you borrow mine, or you could use the real mower.
Get a good workout.
My confession of what I actually enjoy to do is working on our pool, which sounds like hey, I have a pool humble brag. Really not the truth. It came with the house. But I like doing the pool maintenance, and people would be like, "Oh, pools suck. They're a pain in the ass. I don't want to do it." It's like a couple $100 for the chlorine and the chemicals, and you just watch what you're doing. But to me, it's therapeutic to go out there and to connect with creepy crawly, or to take the leaves out, or to pull out the dead frogs and find out if I got any snakes or moles or something I captured. Best mole trap in the entire county is an in-ground swimming pool, by the way. Get all the moles. Very few moles in the neighborhood thanks to the pool. They just wander in and they're dead.
Drown.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a public service.
Yeah. It's really, once again, I feel like I should have a tax abatement from the community for having my pool. But, that's the fun. You backwash it, you dump water out, you mess with it, you clean out leaves that may have fallen off of your diseased maple trees. That's what I get enjoyment out of. That's my secret me time. Guffy?
Me time.
See,
I guess you just like taking care of my dogs.
I do. That doesn't bother me at all. No, what I get true enjoyment out of is the art of the haggle.
Oh,
I like haggling.
yeah.
We shared this story on the Patreon of my haggle, my recent haggle.
That was a good haggle.
Yeah.
Are you proud of me?
I was proud of you.
What was
that was
the-
really good.
What
I
was the
paid
original
2/3.
asking?
Really good.
$3,000.
$3,000 and you paid $2,000. That's not bad. Well, and what's weird
Not
is
bad.
what's
It's
weird?
amazing.
What's weird is he took the first offer, so you probably could have come at like $1,750. You probably could have haggled more, but
Oh, you can't go. You can't go back.
I know.
Well, I know you'd say that, but actually now I'm thinking 1,200.
yeah. So, but no, I enjoy the art of the haggle. So I have been very focused on locating a Jeep.
Of which you will never buy.
I will buy one, but I have done research. I have. There's actually one that I like at the local dealership here in town, but their price is way too high, and they will not negotiate. And I'm like, listen, man.
Did you inform them that you are a Dave Ramsey cash buyer?
I did not, but I should have.
Oh, now I will tell you something
Cash
I
is
learned.
king.
Cash is not king.
Really?
I will tell you something I learned.
Oh, because they like the interest.
They like when my wife and I were going to have our second kid, I wanted to get a truck with a back seat. And
I was really hoping you were going to tell me you haggled with the hospital.
I was really going to.
You can.
I'm not that good.
You can.
I'm not that good, but I
That's
think
where
you
mine
remember
are.
when I
Listen,
first met
I'll
you.
cut the umbilical cord myself. I want $300 off.
No,
I
you
had
ask for an itemized list, and then you go down individually.
A
And
red truck. Do you remember this? Do you remember my red truck? I babied this truck.
Yes,
it was a shiny
absolutely.
red truck. I love this truck. but it wasn't-
2012 or 2010.
Oh, I've never done that well. 2006.
No.
But I-
The
Oh,
year.
the year, yes.
The year.
Was 2010, 2012? Somewhere around there?
Yeah, you and I were together. I was running for office. It was the year 2012, the year of our Lord,
The
2012.
year of our Lord.
And you parked
Phil
outside.
Donahue was like 77 that year. And so...
You and I, you drove
yeah.
the red truck to Baker Park, and we walked around.
Yes.
looking for, and I was so impressed. Mark Brim got a TV or a newspaper interview as we're walking around. I'm like, God, this guy is big time in right now.
I forgot
doing
about
He's
that.
doing an
Yeah.
interview as I'm trying to
on
get
my
votes.
flip phone.
Yeah.
So I sold this truck. I didn't want to do anything the right way. Trade-ins and stuff is all BS. So I sold this pickup truck. I took meticulous care of it because it was pre-kids.
Oh my God.
And I had a big wad of cash. Yeah.
In
Breaking news.
2012,
Yeah.
Phil Donahue was 77 years old.
And so
Rain Man.
and so I thought, this is it. Cash is no one would deal with me when I walked in, and I would try to buy a bin. I just
You had the cash in your hand.
I have a big wad of bills right here. No one wanted to talk to me because they want to give you those loans.
So did
So
you
I
get
had
the
to-
loan and then go pay it off the next day?
No, I just did a private
Private sale.
purchase.
so
Zach Burcham's in the chat. He says offering everybody $1 on Facebook Marketplace is not haggling, Chris Guffey.
listen,
Are you saying you're a good haggler, or you just are
No,
enjoying this art? Like you're good at this.
I'm decent, but I enjoy
it.
I enjoy the haggle. That's more of the.
How much for that ink pen, right? I want to see a display. How much for that ink pen right there?
That's not his ink pen.
It's not. Well, that doesn't matter.
How much for that? That's a nice looking ink pen. How much?
The most haggling.
No. What do you need to write something?
No, just how much? If you were to sell it to me, how much?
Depends
For you?
because you have to use a situational because obviously we're right here, so you need to write something.
No, but I want to take it home with me.
Okay.
Yeah. How much?
It's a Gerdau. They're out of business now, so this is a rare.
No, that company still exists. They just don't own me.
Jeremiah. Listen,
Are you trying to create value and scarcity?
Yes.
Wow.
The rarity of this pen.
So it's rare.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's your price on it? If I wanted
It
to
also
take it home
has a
tonight.
stylus on the end.
Yeah.
$10.
$10.
Yep.
Tell you what. 10 is a little bit, I think what you're saying is fair. I have 6 on me.
Not going to happen.
Not going to happen.
No.
$6.
I'll take $9.50 for it though.
Can you provide a bill of sale?
I will.
And
I will
I'll tell you
write
what.
you with the bill of sale. Look at Dakota. Hold on. You can't phone a friend.
Dakota is whispering in his
And
ear.
Zach, real quick, while this is happening, just offering $1.
You know, I know a guy. He's a pen expert. I need to give him a call and see. I just remembered.
Mark doesn't know what reference that
That's
was.
Pawn
but he
Stars.
did it.
That's Pawn Stars. I have an extra.
I'm the pen expert. This pen could go for $3 in the open market.
No, it wouldn't.
I remember. So $6. I do remember. By God, I have an extra $1 in my ashtray. So $7. We'll just call it done.
I don't think so.
You're going to shake on
I
it,
tell
Mike
you-
and Frank? Do you need to bundle it? Do you have a second pen you can throw in?
No, I'm not going to do that. I will tell you what I will do for you though.
Okay.
You do have a second
hear
pen,
this.
but it's missing the stylus. Defect.
I think the lowest I can go is like $9.23.
$9.23.
Yeah. Otherwise, I'm going
As the expert in this, Mark, I think that you're taking on a lot of the risk in the investment.
I am taking it in.
It is a used pen.
It's a used pen. I don't know how much ink is in it.
There's a lot of ink in this.
A lot of
I've
ink in
been
that pen.
continuously drawing over here.
Does this pen refill? Is it refillable or is it once and you're done?
Isn't this a classic salesman training thing? Is trying to sell an ink pen?
It is.
Yeah, Sarah's
So-
shaking her head. Yes.
So, okay, $7 won't work, but I tell you what, I have 3 frozen chickens.
Deal. $7 and 3 frozen chickens.
Hey, Dakota, I need you to keep these two distracted. Sarah, I need you to take those frozen chickens to the car and get them the hell out of here before they're stolen.
But I do need the bag back. Oh, and there's some business cards he threw in.
Yes,
As
Farmer
well.
Brad
Farmer
LLC,
Brad,
of
LLC.
course.
But no, so I enjoy the haggle. It's fun.
You're pretty good.
Even if
I
it doesn't
am,
work, and like I don't get what I want, I enjoy the art of it.
The art of the deal.
Yes, I mean obviously, the art of the deal.
I'm too agreeable for haggling. The most haggling I've ever done is whenever I traded in my Chevy Sonic and I owed $8,000 on it, and the trade-in value was like $4,800.
This is your most recent car transaction.
What?
Yeah, the
on.
trade-in value was like $4,800. I owed like about $8,000.
Hold on. Question. Sorry.
This is before Guffey. I forgot that.
Yeah.
Dakota and I have been bros for so long that this
So
all
now-
happened ancient times ago. Now
This car was $4,800.
this is the beginning of the podcast.
Where'd you get this value at? The dealership?
No, this is from Kelly Blue Book.
Dakota had this car
They're
sitting
not
in
very
his
good at
driveway
factoring
trying
Okay,
to sell
listen.
it. for
You got to
ages.
use True Car.
This
or
is what I
Edmunds?
did. This is what I did.
Okay.
I found the truck I wanted. Mm-hmm. I looked up the black book value of the truck that I wanted, not the blue book. And I don't remember why. Someone had told me that the black book was anyway. So I looked up the black book value, and I realized that it was that they were asking about $6,000 more than it was worth.
Yep.
And I was like, okay. So I went in there and I told him, I want $1,800 off of this truck, and I want you to pay off my full car loan. And then he was like, ran the numbers, and they were like, okay, yeah, okay, we'll do that.
Okay. So
there was no resistance.
do you know why? So obviously they mark it up. The MSRP is not what you want to pay ever. Don't ever pay MSRP. So what you want to do is you want to find out what the actual invoice of the vehicle is, and that'll give you a rough estimate of what the dealership
He
pays.
doesn't have a new vehicle. This was a
It's-
used
yeah,
transaction.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Truck is a 2012.
You can still find it like a rough invoice of it, and you'll figure out what the value of it actually is. And so then you find out what the dealer paid for it. Generally, they'll cut 1 to 2% off of that. You might be able to find somebody that could do 3 to 5, but it's very rare. 1% is pretty common because they're going to get a kickback anyways from the actual company that made the car. So they'll get a kickback that you don't know about.
Only on a new one.
Are you sure?
It doesn't really matter.
Are you sure?
I have had the truck for like 2 years now, so
the
deal has been made.
The deal has been made. So, but no. Well,
I felt good because I didn't have to carry over any existing debt from my vehicle.
Negative equity is hard to carry over.
And I paid the black book value for my truck, and I felt like that was a fair deal.
Yeah, fair deal for you, and obviously it was a fair deal for them because they probably made.
Oh yeah, they made money.
Yeah,
they're not gonna make the deal if they don't make money.
Obviously, yeah. I mean, you have to understand that they got to make money.
My favorite thing to do,
not in every business.
Well,
in the car dealership,
yeah, in the car dealership game, there's we know of some business. Never mind, I'm not even going to go there. My my favorite thing to do that most people don't like is I genuinely enjoy mowing the yard.
I do too. I don't have a yard, but I used to go over to my friend's house.
So if you don't have a yard, then do you enjoy the idea and the nostalgia behind mowing the yard? Because the reason I like mowing, there's a couple reasons. Yep. First of all, it takes me about 2.5 to 3 hours to mow. Mm-hmm. I have a little over an acre that I mow, and so it takes a minute. And I like to trim it and edge it, blow all the grass clippings and everything, so that no motorcyclists die in front of my house. And I enjoy those few hours that I get just me with headphones on listening to podcasts.
This is a new development in your life because you didn't have a lawn this big previously.
No, I've never owned a riding lawnmower myself. However, I did mow yards whenever I was a teenager for extra cash, and I picked up my enjoyment of it then. Then I got swamped with adulthood very quickly, so I hired someone to mow my yard.
It all happened so fast.
Yeah. And then I realized
I still
that was
silently
stupid.
protest the people you used to have cut your grass for you.
I realized it was stupid, and I missed mowing my yard whenever I hired the folks that did it, because they never lived up to my expectations.
Yep.
So I quickly fired them and took over mowing my own grass. Made it look really good. I think that Zach Bertram can attest to how well my yard looked. Don't know if it still looks that good now that I've moved away. But I know that I've got the best yard on my street right now. I'm pretty confident to say, even though there's like 5 houses.
Better than your father-in-law? Your yard looks better than your father-in-law's.
I'm going to go ahead and say yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Those are fighting words, Dennis Peavy.
You know what? I think that Dennis would be okay with it. Dennis enjoys mowing his yard too, though. And he's probably got the second best.
So co-host Danny Morrill, or former co-host, we don't know, lives two doors north of Cade Coger, and they're in a lawn mowing war with each other. And just this week, Danny updated his mower and he got a zero turn and upped it from a 52-inch to a 60-inch.
Holy cow.
Turn. Went full 60 inches. So
man, I've got like a little baby compared to that. He's got a full foot more.
It's your move. It's your move. I mow with a 22-inch push mower. I don't care. Not that big of a deal. But yeah, your move, Cade Coger. Danny's raised the stakes.
There have been times where I've been mowing and I've felt like my 42-inch lawnmower is inadequate for the amount of grass that I'm cutting. But that's almost okay because I enjoy it. So.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if you're enjoying it, why?
It's a really nice lawnmower. It's super nice.
You don't have to rush the
We
process.
kind of inherited it. It was already at the house when we moved in. Very nice John Deere zero turn. I've made a few modifications myself.
Ooh. Did you take the governor off?
No, I added a striping kit, a roller on the back.
Homemade.
Oh, yes.
Ooh.
I remember that, and I actually enjoyed that. I want to see it in action.
It's nice.
I
just took it off.
Can we come out and watch you mow your yard?
I just took it off, though. I took the little roller off because, like, I didn't seal one of the ends all the way, apparently, and all of the sand that was weighing down the roller leaked out over the past week, and now my shed's full of 50 pounds of sand. So it was a really cool thing to look at whenever I opened the shed doors to mow this week, and there was a giant mound of sand, and the roller it had come out with such force that it pushed one end up, and then it just spilled out the other end, and it actually pushed up the other end. So I have these 2 giant mounds of sand in the shed that I had to sweep out.
All right.
It's heartbreaking.
At this juncture, we will transition into final thoughts.
Should we start with Mark?
We'll start with you, Producer Chris, and we'll work our way around the room. Do you have anything to promote? Anything that you're missing out on? Anything that we need to know?
Today was, I actually wrote this down. Today was the Indie Fuels open house. So I'm missing that. I should be there.
Doug Christensen is your new guy?
He is.
I know the name and I don't know a damn thing about him. Why do I remember the name so well? Did he do something else famous at some point?
I don't think so. Not that I know of. I mean, he could have, but
I'm just good at this stuff.
But no, so yeah.
I knew Mike Gravel is from Alaska and I knew the name of the fuel coach.
Yep, so Christensen's our new coach. We just signed our first player, and he is from the University of Michigan. So I don't know his name exactly. So, and I think this team's going to be I think this year we're going to be a lot younger. Christensen came out and said we're going to be a lot younger. So we might get rid of Zach Mitzkowitz. I'm not for sure. We'll have to see.
I'm lost.
It was the captain, number 3, captain of the team. Let's see, Johnny McInnes, right? Yeah, Johnny McInnes was a former fuel player, got traded to Allen, Texas last year. I believe he announced his retirement from professional hockey over the time. He was probably my favorite because he had this pretty awesome little stash. But
I have some questions for you.
Go ahead.
Totally unrelated to any of this, but this is the time of the show we ask these questions.
Yes.
You and I met each other playing Pokemon Go.
Yep.
In the last week, a new game has launched.
Harry Potter, Wizards Unite. Sure is.
Is this a Niantic game?
Here it is. Yes, it is. It's right there.
And you're playing such a thing?
Yeah, I play a little bit.
Are all the same locations and geography locations the same in the game?
Yep, exactly. Everything's the same.
So, is it worth it? Is it stripped down like Pokemon Go was in the beginning, where you can only do a handful of things, or is it worth it?
Yeah. I mean, it's worth it to pass some time.
Is your Pokemon Go Plus going to work in the Harry Potter game?
No, because you actually have to cast spells. So it's very strange. But if you're a Harry Potter fan, it'll work for you to kind of subside that addiction to the Harry Potter world. I mean, it's not the greatest, but obviously it just came out, so we'll see how it works out. I'm currently level 9.
Did you have to choose a team?
I did.
Are you a Slytherin?
No, I'm a Ravenclaw.
I feel myself turning into a virgin again, just hearing this.
I'm just asking. I'm asking all of the questions I can. I'm almost out of questions.
It's weird.
That's I think all I know.
Yep.
Do you play the broomstick game?
Quidditch? You do not.
Whatever the hell that is.
It's Quidditch. And no, you do not. Not yet. I'm sure it'll be added in later, but
thank you for the update.
I'm just saying. Well, I do have a Harry Potter tattoo, so it's...
Oh. You do?
Yeah.
Wow. Where at?
Right here.
You've never seen it.
I've never seen it.
Have you ever seen Guffey with his shirt off?
Nope.
Next pool party.
I don't show up to your pool parties. There's too many people.
They're called voters or donors. You really should.
Yeah, I'm right there with him.
On that.
These pool parties, way too many people. And I'm a never nude. This is all on.
Tobias.
Yeah.
Tobias Brim over here.
Yeah. Yeah. You've never even seen my arms before.
The jorts.
Crying out loud.
The jorts in the
see them
shower.
now.
Your wife doesn't even know you have nipples.
Nope. She's never seen him. Never seen him.
And you have, 3 children?
I draw them on my shirt sometimes. So.
To make me feel more at ease.
Mark, do you have any final thoughts? Anything else to promote? Anything that we need to worry about? You've been doing these reviews on the YouTube. Last time we saw you, the next day you went and saw the dude from the Boss Hog show, and you forgot to tell us.
The Dukes of Hazzard?
Yeah, that thing.
It was the very next day.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was.
Not a word was mentioned. You hung out with us. You did the Boss Hog of Liberty.
Yeah.
And then you went and saw
I
Papa
kept a
John.
lid on that because I wasn't sure if it was going to happen or not. John Schneider was in Rushville.
And he thought he was going to Connorsville. He was going to drive right by, but some dude drove the General Lee.
Yeah, a guy had a General Lee and parked it in front of WIFE in Rushville.
The hot wife.
The hot wife. And he was going to Connorsville where where WIFE used to be, sees a General Lee, says, he stops at Country Mark to get a cup of coffee and looks over, sees a General Lee and says, why?
I guess I've arrived.
Well, he didn't know. He just said, there's a General Lee. I'm going to go see this General Lee. And who knows? The owner might come out, and then there's, here I am, General Lee. Well, and then he walks over there, and no one is that surprised to see him because that's exactly where he's supposed to be. But yeah, very nice guy. I did a little thanks to some coworkers of mine at the radio station that I work part-time at, or am employed part-time. I haven't worked there in quite some time, but they invited me to come along just because they knew I'd enjoy it so much, and I was able to get some a little bit of one-on-one time with him, and that was fun. And he's a nice guy, and doesn't. I enjoy the celebrities who don't get pissy about who embrace. But he knows he's always supposed to. He writes songs, he does new things, and that's appreciative, and he's talented, but he embraces who he was. But my final thought, though, is to go back to what do you enjoy? And I would have to say, I don't know if you I heard this term a few years ago and it resonates with me, second degree fun. Have you ever heard of second degree fun?
Where you watch somebody else have fun?
Yes.
No.
No.
It might even be your lawn mowing. I can't say I enjoy much. I have a lot of second degree fun.
Yep.
Where the next day I'm kind of like, that was fun.
Yeah.
The only time I had this recently, my wife and I were working to put
second degree fun versus first degree fun. First degree fun
in the moment
is
you're enjoying yourself.
You're enjoying yourself in the moment.
Yeah.
First degree fun is a roller coaster where you're like, wow, that was amazing. I loved that.
Yeah.
Second degree fun is where you look back on it and you say, and you're like,
basic
wow,
training.
That was great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I can't say I enjoy anything, but I do because I'm just too riddled with things. But second degree fun, the only time in recent times, just a little couple weeks ago or so, my wife and I were building a jungle gym. We couldn't find the right slide that we needed. She found one on Facebook Marketplace, but we had to get it in a hurry. It was in Hamilton, Ohio, and her and the kids stayed home. And I drove my raggedy truck to Hamilton and hunted this down, stopped and got a cheeseburger on the way, and it was boiling hot.
Did you go to the Just Right on the way?
I stopped, first of all, I stopped at Country Mark to get some popcorn because who doesn't enjoy popcorn I just love some buttery popcorn. Then I stopped and got a cheeseburger, a little side, a little, I don't know what it was.
Or the Made Right. It's just over the border from Richmond. The Made Rights.
I like Made Rights.
You don't really?
Yeah.
Anyway.
I don't like
so
Made
yeah,
Rights.
there's this great YouTube video of your journey to Ohio.
That was journey 1. This was journey 2. I went by myself and got just a slide, bought it, and the next day I just thought that was a fun evening. That was delightful. Just a little time by myself, eating a cheeseburger, picking up a slide. But yeah, the video on my YouTube channel is my wife and I. We got ripped. We got ripped off. Big time. Because we bought a jungle gym. It looked beautiful. The photos look beautiful. We go there and it looks okay. We take it apart. It looks a little rotted. We start to kind of go through it and we're like 2/3 of the way in to just rot. But what do you do at that point? You've already bought it. The person's there. You're way out in the middle of nowhere. At what point do you just say, oh, okay, we just need to unload this and stop. It's all rotted.
I've changed my mind.
So we're just like, so then we're all pretending at this point. The person has to know that that this is rot. We definitely know it's rot, covered in ants, and we just are still we're taking it apart because we don't know what to do.
It just turns into, well, now it's a YouTube video.
Yeah, and so
now your only hope is to monetize it. How much money did you pay for such a thing?
Well, I think it was listed originally.
Did you haggle? Please tell me you haggled.
They said they were going to...
Tell me what kind of a deal you got on the trash before you had to pay to dispose of it at the dump, the landfill.
Luckily, it was free to dispose of it at the landfill. We used the basic framing of it for our jungle gym now. They came down... It was under $200. They said, the person said, this is not as in a good a shape as I thought it was, so the price is definitely going to change. I thought that price would be... Thank God you're taking this piece of shit out of my yard. They came down $50. So we still paid.
So $150.
We in ballpark. We paid over $100, I'll say, to take some rock.
So you
could
were
have built that for yourself for cheaper.
You were talking about people who are celebrities but don't really appreciate it. And Dakota has there's this Facebook page called The Dad, which, as I'm aging, is starting to make more sense to me.
If you have seen it's a common thing on Tony Hawk's Twitter where he is out in public and no one recognizes him, but they might slightly recognize him because of...
He was a video game in the 90s.
Yeah, right? I mean, he was huge. I grew up on his video game. Used to play the heck out of Tony Hawk's Underground. Anyway,
first stage.
He has some really funny tweets about not being totally recognized as a celebrity. And he said, This is one of my favorite. Guy approaches me while standing in line at a coffee shop in Cancun. Him. My friend says that you're a famous person. Is that true? Me. It depends on your definition of fame. Him. Will you show up if I Google search your name? Yes. Starts typing into phone. Are you Tony Stark? This one was another good one. To clarify, my legal name is Anthony. TSA agent checks my ID, looks at me, looks at ID, looks back at me quizzically, and loudly says, Tony Hawk's my favorite skater. Me. I'll tell him.
Nice.
Yeah.
So no one really, you know, I had a moment like this. And this just popped into my head just now. I worked at a radio station years ago in the great city of Richmond, Indiana. You ever heard of it? It's nearby. It's down the road.
Yeah.
Where?
I think I've heard
Richmond.
of it a time or two.
And I was working there. There was the FM and AM station. I worked on the FM. The AM station was a talk show at the time. And then there was a guy that morning sitting in the lobby, just this old guy sitting in the lobby. And I thought, what? So I walked up. I said, can I help you with anything? Are you waiting for someone?
Are you here for autographs?
And he said,
the DJs will be out in an hour.
And he said, I'm just here for a short interview on the AM station. I said, oh, okay. You want a cup of coffee or anything? He's like, no, I'm fine. I said, okay. I said, are you sure? Is there someone? He said, no, he'll come out and get me. He said, my name's Jim Fowler. Did you ever watch the Wild Kingdom show? I said, well, I remember that when I was a kid. He's like, yeah, I was like, Jim, I don't know he's like, well, the wildlife. And he started to explain. I was like, yeah, it rings a bell.
Yeah, dude, if you were Jack Hanna.
And then he said, he kind of like took it. He's like, well, I was on Seinfeld recently. Is that because he was on Seinfeld once? And I was like, oh, you were on Seinfeld. Wow. And I could tell he was just like, and now
Now he's crushed.
Yeah. Actually, he was very nice about it. And he knew it was a little outside of my age, but he is, which is funny now because then I met him years later and had, thank goodness, actually, lucky for me, I got to meet him and talk to him years later. Actually having appreciated his body of work and knowing who he was. But yeah, he was very nice of it. But the only thing he could think of where, maybe I'll make a connection with this guy is to mention his Seinfeld appearance, which had just been like a year before. So you
are this guy in the Tony Hawk tweet where he says, a guy at the grocery store says, you ever get mistaken for Tony Hawk or are you Tony Hawk? Me. Both, actually.
Nice.
So Jim Fowler was on,
Mutual.
I have terrible news about Jim Fowler.
Oh no, he died. Yeah, that's maybe why party was in my head. Yeah, he died maybe about a month ago, I think.
Jim Fowler was on Seinfeld as himself, as Seinfeld was appearing on one of these late night talk shows. Jim Fowler also, it
was called the Merv Griffin show.
Yes, he was on Merv Griffin, yes.
Well, it was
on that, yes.
On that episode, which was pretty funny.
Yes.
And Kramer has a pretend TV show.
Of course, he also did some Johnny Carson, which should have immediately been like, oh my God, you've met Johnny Carson. That had to be the thing.
He was Johnny Carson's go-to wildlife guy.
He just died this year.
He was even good friends with Johnny Carson, took him on a couple of safaris in Africa. It was actually one of the few celebrities who actually kind of...
Jim Fowler has been dead less than 50 days.
Yeah. Yeah. But he graduated
he's
from
your
Earlham.
local guy, right? Yeah.
He graduated from Earlham College. So he would come to town. Last time I posted an interview that I dug up an interview I had done with him and put it up on the social media for Earlham College. And so I got to sit and talk to him. Great guy. But yeah, that was years and years before, probably 99 or so was the first time I met him in person. And the only thing he could think of was, I was on an episode of Seinfeld. Maybe that
it makes me somewhat relevant to you.
Yeah.
5 years ago, I was on Seinfeld, buddy.
That's good.
All right. Any final thoughts for me, Dakota?
My final thoughts are I am interested to see how the 2020 Democrat primaries go. I'm not, as I look at the field and I'm seeing the candidates, I just really don't see anybody that I think is going to beat Trump in 2020. Really don't. I don't even think Bernie can do it.
Do you think this is the year for possibly a third party?
No,
I do not.
Not at the presidential level.
Yeah, all of our candidates suck right now, Chris.
Too much.
Who are the libertarian candidates?
Vermin Supreme.
Okay. Come on now.
Kim Ruff is actually pretty decent. Adam Kokesh was on the judge on Fox.
I'm
Do you know
waiting
who I'm
patiently
talking
for
about?
Justin Amash. Justin Amash was recently
Yeah.
on the Brian Nichols show. I encourage
Yes.
everybody to go look at that. That's on the Weird Libertarians Network. Did a great job with that. Very interesting interview. So that's definitely worth checking out.
Napatillo? Is that how you pronounce
Andrew
it?
Napolitano.
Napolitano. There we go. Yeah, that's
Come on,
the
man.
guy.
Get East Coast.
No idea. But he was on there, and he told him that if I'm elected president, the very first thing I'm going to do on the first day is dissolve all of the federal government.
Adam Kokesh.
I've heard some bad things about him.
Yeah, he's been in jail a few times.
Yeah.
And certainly no worse than the things you hear about John McAfee.
These
Oh,
are
God.
not the pragmatic libertarians that come from my wing of the party.
I'd have to say, yeah, I think I might just sit this one out.
So I'm at this point, I'm Yang Gang or bust.
Yang Gang? That's your guy? That's it?
We'll
I
see.
don't know if I'll vote in the Democrat primary, but if I do, it would be for Andrew Yang.
The reality of it is that it's very difficult to get on the ballot in Indiana. You have to have those 500 signatures in every district. By the time they get to us, it'll probably be down to 2 or 3 Democratic choices.
Yep.
We'll see who actually makes the ballot and if anybody's actually even still running by the time they get here. A couple final thoughts from me. Saturday or Friday or Saturday, L&K produce stand opens back up again. Our friend Cade Koger. Obviously the beef is always available down there, but you can get your produce as well. Great place, incredibly reasonable pricing. Good spot if you want to do some canning, Sarah Morrill, if you're listening out there somewhere, maybe we can pick some stuff up and do some canning, some preservation. It's always been our dream to be homesteaders. It's my Mormon blood. Also want to congratulate the newlyweds, Hannah Morrill Davis now, and Stephen Davis.
Welcome to
Dakota,
the family, Hannah.
Dakota, you and I are now brothers. We're family, bro.
Oh God.
It's my sister's a Davis.
You can now get
It's,
forced into more stuff.
Yeah, we're family.
And you have to accept because you're family.
It's
If
somewhat
we're
shameful-
family, then that means I have more liberty to say no.
Somewhat shameful that you forgot to show up at the
To
wedding.
say piss off, Jeremiah.
But I'm looking forward to all of our Christmases together and the extended families. I know we do Christmas Eve together, but now Christmas Day we're gonna have to do.
I've never seen Steven at a family reunion, Davis family reunion. So
Well, that's I mean,
what's up with that, Steven?
He's kind of an introvert, but as you know, I'm an extrovert. So now, as a member of the Davis family, I'll be at everything. I can't wait.
Oh goodness. That sounds
right.
like
Next
Fun.
week, the show will be on Wednesday because we're going to record on Wednesday, July 3rd, because nobody wants us to counter program your fireworks. Except maybe your yellow lab that's going to get pissed off.
When
about
is
the
July
fireworks.
4th this year?
It's on a Thursday.
It's on a Thursday?
Yeah.
Yeah, doesn't that suck?
Yeah.
You get one
Next
day
Thursday?
off. You get one day off in
What's
the middle of the
what
week.
date?
It's on July 17th.
Ah, gotcha.
Yeah. Put it in your calendar. Mark it in pencil.
Thank you for listening to the Boss Hog of Liberty, which is part of the We Are Libertarians Network. I am Chris Spangle, and I am the founder of this network, and I invite you to listen to all of our shows, which you can find at WeAreLibertarians.com or by searching for these in your podcatcher. The flagship show is the We Are Libertarians podcast, where we apply libertarian principles to current events. The Brian Nichols Show is a conversation amongst Republicans, Democrats, Libertarians, Independents, as they talk about what is happening in the news. And we have many other podcasts like The Chris Spangle Show, Upward, The Cost, Raw Audio Politics, Miranda's World, and Tad Talk, which is quite a ride. So check all of these out. Go to WeAreLibertarians.com and you can check out all of our great podcasts. Thanks for listening. Thank you for listening to the We Are Libertarians Network. Get our other shows at WeAreLibertarians.com.